See the moonlights on the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Tallawah TV is in the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Got a corner on the telephone. Yeah, this is the Ocean of the Messenger, and you're watching Tallawah TV with the host and best. So Davis, take it away.
My Tallawahs, good evening. Is it a good afternoon for some of you? It's probably a late evening. Good morning, or depends on where you're based in the world. It is officially 12:25 here in London. Unfortunately, I couldn't go to my bed without giving you guys my thoughts and opinions on what's taking place where the Reggae Girls are concerned. Heard a couple interviews, I've heard a few comments being shared by persons who work for the Jamaica Football Federation. So we're going to dissect some of those comments that were made from the jump. I'm going to be honest with you. I think a few of the comments were unfair, and I think some of the comments that were made aimed, targeted at a few of the Reggae Girls is exactly that, a target. And it's been done to paint a sinister picture of the Reggae Girls. And it's not something that sits well with me. And that is the reason why we're going to be dissecting a few of the comments that were made in a recent interview. And not just the comments that have been made in recent interviews, a few of the stuff that's been made in black and white in front of us where the Reggae Girls are concerned. Find it quite concerning how there is a pretty much one-way traffic where the Reggae Girls senior women's team is concerned. And what that one-way traffic is pretty much painting a sinister motive, a sinister image on the Reggae Girls. So I think it's time for us to add a little bit of a balance to what's being said about the senior women's national football team of Jamaica. See, a couple of you are in at early doors. Good evening to yourself. Let me know how your day is going. You know, I love to know how your day is going. Let me know what's on the dinner menu for some of you. Always trying to ask you guys what you're eating. Like, what's on the dinner menu for lunch, guys, or for dinner, I should say. What's on the dinner menu? What's on the menu there for dinner? I might come over and invite myself round and dish out a plate or two. Good evening. How are you? Good evening to yourself. How are you? Hot chili. You're always here. You guys are always here, always present. I'm gonna be leaning on you guys tonight as well. Want to hear what you guys make of the situation thus far. I'm pretty sure we're all up to date on some of the things that's going on externally. Don't think anyone is up to date with what's going on internally, unless you're there internally with the JFF, the coaching staff, or the Reggae Girls themselves. I trust that none of you in the comment section fit that criteria. Okay, well, fry some for both of us. Go ahead and fry some for both of us. Give you guys a little bit of an update there. Some weeks ago, I should say maybe just over a week ago, you guys would have been made aware of my interview with Vin Blaine, the gaffer, or I should say the then gaffer. In that interview, he made it quite clear that he was 50-50. At that time, he was leaning towards the exit door, meaning that he was considering leaving his position. And news broke earlier on in terms of the confirmation, that is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my shared screen for you guys so we can just bring you all up to speed if in case we're a little bit late with following the news. So here we go over here. This one pretty much reads for itself. If you don't want to read it, I'll go ahead and read it for you. It says the Jamaica Football Federation would like to express sincere thanks and appreciation for the work that Coach Vin Blaine has done with the women's senior national team. Unfortunately, he has decided against taking the team to the next level. So that pretty much confirms Mr. Blaine's departure from the senior women's national team. I already know what some of you make of Vin Blaine, so I'm not going to add no fuel to the fire in regards to Mr. Blaine. I'm going to leave that one alone. Feel free to share your opinion there on Mr. Vin Blaine's departure if you wish. Good evening to yourself, Tennessee Lewis. How you doing? How are you doing? We've got Mr. Richard Stevens there in the comment section. I think he's on the wrong side there tonight, there, guys. Reckon we should bring him backstage. Let me know what you guys think, Mr. Richard Stevens, and obviously Ted, should we bring Ted and Mr. Richard Stevens into the studio with us? I think we should. He says, golden rule tonight to get the message out. Please hit the like button upon entry. This will be a captivating and positive email. You may well forget. Don't. Like to echo that message. Thank you. I hope it is a positive conversation. There, Mr. Richard Stevens. I think much of what's been said on the Reggae Girls so far have been quite negative, definitely negative. And it is one-way traffic, like I said, and it's all done to suit people's agenda. When I say people's agenda, I'm referring to the JFF, the ones who should be the leaders, the ones who should be leading by example. I don't think they're doing much leading at present, but I'll allow you guys to make your mind up there in the comment section. My day is going all right. My day is going all right. I have a guest waiting in the studio, and I think I've probably kept him waiting for too long. Luckily for me, he's an eager individual. I know you guys would have seen his face around here a number of times. If you are new to my platform, you definitely wouldn't be familiar with his face, or maybe you might have seen him bouncing about on other person's platforms where the Jamaican football community is concerned. But if you have not seen him on any platform, he goes by the name of Mr. Mikey Ballin. How you, sir? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good today. Hot day today, New York City.
You're doing. I'm glad one of us is doing good. My head is. My brain is feels like it's being fried. My head is just rattling back and forth. So I'm glad at least one of us has had a good day, because I know I definitely haven't had a good day.
Well, if you keep your mind on the JFF, you always have bad days.
Yeah, that is definitely true. That is definitely true. I'm trying to read some of the comments there, um, in the comments section.
If you want to pep up, you don't listen to listen to the JFF. Anything they say, just block them out, mute them.
You know what? I wish you had told me this earlier on. I made the mistake of listening to an interview done by Mr. Speed and Mr. Wind earlier on. I say earlier on, but this interview came to light yesterday. And I made the mistake of listening to the interview, and that interview pretty much pushed me or tipped me over the edge. Because I think that interview is a clear example of the sinister motive that I've alluded to in the introduction of this live stream. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to look at that interview there again, done by Mr. Rudolph Speed and also Mr. Wint as well. We're going to dissect their wording from that interview. I'll allow you guys to make your mind up on and give me your thoughts on the interview, what you make of the message. I already know what I make of the message, right? So let me go ahead and bring you guys up to speed. Interesting, because we will be talking about Rudolph Speed there. You guys in the comment section, have you guys come across a recent interview done by Rudolph Speed and also Mr. Wint as well, Mr. Dalton Wint? You guys in the comment section. I know Mikey has listened to the interview, so we're going to be going into the interview. There's a few things that Mr. Speed said in the first couple of seconds in that interview that completely just threw me off guard. And instantly it unsettled me. And the reason why it unsettled me was because of the choice of words by somebody who is supposed to be objective, in my opinion. Let's remind ourselves that Mr. Speed is the chairman of the JFF committee. So I expected him to be objective. I expected him to be well balanced with his views, or at least say no comment. But he was in a talkative mood for some reason. So again, guys, let me know in the comment section if you guys have come across that interview. Again, I'm going to be giving you the quotes because some of you probably haven't come across that particular interview, right? And the reason why I decided to look at this interview with you guys is because of some of the wording. I'm seeing that apparently the girls lack professionalism. That's news to me. I'm hearing that there's going to be an investigation linked to indiscipline within the Reggae Girlz camp. And I thought, well, that's something that's quite new to me, having already followed the Reggae Girlz from the last World Cup camp. Doesn't really fit their image. It doesn't really fit what I know of them. but I'll allow you guys in the comment section to draw your own assumption or draw up your own opinion on what you think of this current Reggae Girls senior women's football team. How are you doing over there, Mikey?
I'm just listening to you, and I can't see the comments in the chat, but I'm just disappointed with the whole JFF going after the girls after everything is settled.
Yeah,
After,
that's a
uh,
big word. Big word, Mikey, and I love it because that's exactly what they did. The headline from that interview, if in case you guys want to find it, it's on YouTube. It says JFF to investigate indiscipline from the Reggae Girls. And I thought, well, that's quite interesting, that word indiscipline. But more so, I thought what's even more interesting is the word investigate. And I thought it clearly you're throwing the girls under the bus here, because if we're going to be investigating anything, surely we have to start from the very beginning. And I'm going to tell you guys where the very beginning is, in my opinion, where the investigation should start, or where there should be a long list of investigation. And yes, investigation have probably taken place behind the scenes, but it isn't public knowledge. Why is it certain investigation is public knowledge and the rest isn't public knowledge? Is it because it favors one's agenda? I don't know. I'll allow you guys to make your mind up there in the comment section. So again, the interview that I'm referring to, the headline from that interview said, JFF to investigate indiscipline from Reggae Girls. Again, that's news to me because I've not known the Reggae Girls to be indisciplined. Let me go ahead and see what you guys are saying there in the comment section. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you. Thank you. I try. Good evening, Mr. Bolton. The JFF know what they're doing from day one. They're the cause of all of this. I support the girls 100%. I am with you there, Mr. Tennessee Lewis. They're quite calculated with their approach. They're very calculating. And they've been sussed out without them even realizing it. And this is what happens when you talk too much. When you talk too much, you inevitably trip up yourself, because there are things that's being said there where the Jamaica Football Federation is concerned, and you can probably go through it with a fine toothpick or a fine comb and say that, well, with what you're saying and what is in black and white previously, what you're saying, it doesn't add up, it doesn't make sense. So I'll wait on Mikey to come back before I
no,
go
I'm
into
back. I'm back. I'm just doing
You
something.
hear, Mikey?
Yeah, I'm here. Yes.
Right, guys. So if you guys haven't found that link to that interview yet, again, the headline from that interview said JFF to investigate indiscipline from the Reggae Girls. So these are some.
I have a question for you, Crystal.
Go on.
How did JFF go investigate the Reggae Girls? Because look like the Reggae Girls keep better secret than the JFF. Them not gonna tell nobody nothing. Because if them write so much letter to the JFF, and we just found out after someone at JFF leaked it, and they had not one of them has spoken to any media, any blogger, or anything. So that whatever the girls are coming like KGB, CIA, and MI6 put together. They're not living on a secret. So Mr. Speed can forget the investigation. Because to get anywhere investigation, the parties have to be willing to talk. And the girls are united. Them not rat out nobody. You understand? And them not leaking.
You know what it is, Mikey? I think you've hit the nail on the head there in terms of the secrecy within the Reggae Girls camp. It's no secret to us externally that they pretty much keep things internal. That's why it was news to myself, and I'm sure news to you guys in the comment section when a letter was leaked, a letter that should have been private and confidential was leaked to the media. I said on my last live stream, I can bet my last pound that no Reggae Girl leaked that letter to the media. So I'm led to believe that perhaps someone close to the Jamaica Football Federation, or perhaps someone who works for the Jamaica Football Federation, leaked that letter to the media. Why would they do that? I don't know. Does it fit their sinister agenda? Perhaps so. But going back to what Mikey said with regards to, will the girls be willing to speak? I think they will be willing to speak. I don't think it's a case of, yes, they are their sister's keeper, and I'm sure they have a united front. But when we're dealing with issues that are concerning, I do believe that they would speak, either to Mr. Speed or Mr. Ricketts or Mr. Wind. I'm 100% certain that they would speak to members internally, just not externally. Because, like you said, you know, they don't do media interviews. So when people are saying that the Reggae Girls are indisciplined, that's actually, like I said, that's news to me. Because of the three parties here, when we look at the coach being the then gaffer, Mr. Vin Blaine, the JFF, and also the Reggae Girls. Of the three parties so far, the Reggae Girls are the only ones who aren't speaking. So when you talk about lacking professionalism, again, I'm swaying in the other direction, because when we look at what's in front of us, it's clear to see who is professional and who isn't professional, who lacks discipline and who doesn't lack discipline, who have egos and who don't have egos.
Let me tell you something. They made the regulars will talk, but when it comes to who is in disciplined party, they're not going to say. That's what I mean by
Okay, I understand you.
if they're trying to root out the indiscipline in the team, they're not going to say, because the
Yeah.
girls are together on this. And maybe one of the reasons why the girl was in discipline, or the girls who they say were in discipline was because of they have sent numerous notifications to the JFF about the coach and the coaching staff, and they did nothing. So they just figured that if the JFF don't care, then I don't care either. I can do what I want to do. You know, so one or two, maybe, whatever number of girls decided to do what they JFF think is indiscipline, and everybody, what some people think is indiscipline, maybe some other people think is not.
Interesting point. Interesting point. So, guys, I'm gonna go into, see, now that you guys can see Mikey's lovely face, we're gonna go into dissecting that interview there, guys. Again, the headline from that interview, which I find quite alarming, it says JFF to investigate in discipline from Reggae Girls. Again, this one caught me off guard, because I'm thinking of all the things that's out there in public for public knowledge. This is the one thing that you're choosing to investigate, or this is the one thing that you choose to shine a light on in terms of letting us know publicly that there is an investigation. I find it to be quite odd. So going back to that, go
Wait,
on there,
first
Mike.
of all, second, what the JFF should investigate, what really need to be investigated, is who leaked the letter.
100%, and we're gonna get into that, because, like I said, if you
Because if the person who leaked the letter or persons, they're the one caused all this problem. Because
100%.
if there were previous letters and we didn't know about it, this one could have went, and Vin Blaine could have resigned and said that him not feeling well or whatever, and move
Personal
on. And
issues.
personal issues, family issues, whatever, and move on, and nobody know any better. But because of the JFF and them, how them carry themselves, unprofessional, very unprofessional, them just well, I mean, I tell you, listen, me wouldn't give nobody in JFF a secret to keep for me. Cause I sure end up in prison.
This is not a laughing matter, but somehow Mikey's making me laugh. Okay,
No,
guys. So
but no,
from
seriously, no. Anybody in the chat, would you let the JFF? Would you tell JFF one of your secrets that you can't even tell yourself before you're done talking upon TVJ?
So, guys, again, if you are just tuning in, we're going to be dissecting that interview there that was done. I think it was like a day ago, because I came across it yesterday. And the headline from that interview said JFF to investigate indiscipline from Reggae Girls, right? The irony. So, from that interview, two persons spoke from the Jamaica Football Federation. You had Rudolph Speed, and also you had Dalton Wint as well. I'm gonna go through the dissection of that interview, in the right order, as in who spoke first. So the first person to speak from the Jamaica Football Federation was the chairman of the JFF committee, Rudolph Speed. He said, guys, in the interview, he said, and these are the quotes: there are some members of the senior team who must look into themselves if the team are to move past the latest disagreement with players and coach. And this is the bit that really tripped me up here, guys. When he went a step further, he said, we have heard of the unprofessionalism of the senior player or players, which should have been dealt with And then this is the part that, again, guys, it sounds as if he is siding somewhat perhaps towards the coach, because you don't start off an interview by saying, that interview that carries the headline of there's going to be a research, not a research, an investigation done centered around indiscipline of the girls. You don't start off an interview by saying that we have heard of unprofessionalism. It's either you know or you don't know. You can't take hearsays to court. So to be coming out publicly and saying that you have heard of unprofessionalism of the senior player or players, it leads me to believe that clearly you're just purely going off hearsay. Right? He continued with the interview by saying the issue wasn't dealt with, and this is what we asked the coach to answer. And he went a step further by saying, didn't want to bring it out because you guys don't really have that. And I'm thinking, well, if you didn't want to bring it out, why let it be known as public knowledge? You could have kept that one in the locker. We wouldn't know. If you didn't do that interview, we wouldn't know that you're going to be doing an investigation on the Reggae Girlz regarding indiscipline. And then this is where I think he contradicts himself. So the first part of Rudolph Speed comments, he said that, let me just backtrack for you guys. He said, to start off, he went on by saying, we have heard of unprofessionalism of senior player or players. Now his next set of quotes starts off by saying that he said he knew of indiscipline within the camp that couldn't have happened elsewhere. They should account for that. So this is the part that sounds a little bit confusing to me, because you've started off by saying that you heard of unprofessionalism, and then you're going on to saying that you knew of indiscipline within the camp. So which is it? Is it something that you know, or is it purely based off hearsay? So again, backtracking on what he said there with regards to indiscipline, he said they should account for that. They should look into themselves, because that behavior that they have exhibited wherever they are playing, either college or club, they know that is a no-no, right? And then he also touched on a player, apparently, allegedly, a player went out on the eve of the Dominican Republic game and didn't return until match day at Sabina Park. Again, these are allegations, because apparently there is no evidence. Again, I'm going to read out those two comments there from Rudolph Speed, and let me know what you guys make of it, because I think that he pretty much shot himself in the foot, right? Because both of his quotes, 100%, they contradict each other. Like I said, if you're going to be going to court and you're going to put your argument forward, you don't start off by saying we have heard. Nobody cares about hearsay. People care about facts and evidence. So you start off an interview and you have said, we have heard of the unprofessionalism of senior players or players, which should have been dealt with too, right? So he sounds a little bit disappointed there. You're saying that it should have been dealt with too. What do you mean by that? And again, for everyone, in his interview, he then said that he knew of indiscipline within the camp. And he went on by saying that they, as in the girls, should be held in account of that, right? So I thought, okay, if you start off the interview, like I said, guys, by saying that you heard that there is indiscipline, and then you will flip the script that you heard that there was unprofessionalism, then you flipped it and saying that you knew of indiscipline. I don't really know what to make of that. I kind of feel like you've pretty much made your mind up, and your mind from everything that you've probably been told about the Reggae Girlz is that they are guilty as charged, as opposed to sitting back, carrying out an investigation and getting to the root of the matter. That's where I gathered from Mr. Rudolph Speed's comment, right? And I think his comment is actually quite different to the JFF secretary. And the JFF secretary, for those of you who are wondering, is Dalton Wind. Now, Dalton Wind, I think he was the more professional of the two. And clearly he went about things the right and proper way. Dalton Wind says, I have heard the conversation, and I believe he was alluding to the DR game. There's nothing that I have that is concrete to say what took place. And I thought, fantastic. Dalton Wind isn't stepping forward in front of a mic and a camera and saying, I have heard this, and therefore this is where I draw a conclusion. Let me read that quote from Dalton Wind for you guys again. He said, I have heard the conversation, again alluding to the Dominican Republic game. There's nothing that I have that there's nothing that I have that is concrete to say what took place. Dalton went in the interview again, guys. They were basically asking him about obviously internal issues that's going on or alleged internal issues. He said, "We are having discussions internally. As soon as we have concluded on these discussions, the public will know." He continued by saying, "Any such action which isn't acceptable by the JFF," this was a question that was put to him by the interviewer. He said that if it isn't something that needs disciplinary action, then it's something that I support. If it's something that needs disciplinary action, guys, then that's something that I support. How are you coping over there, Mikey?
I'm listening. I'm going well. I'm listening to hear your lovely voice.
Then they asked Dalton Wynn further in the interview. They asked, "Will there be an investigation?" Dalton Wynn followed up with his response by saying, "We will be doing an investigation." And again, the interviewer speaking to Dalton Wynn said, "Will he take action?" Dalton Wynn again, being professional, he said, "I don't know where the investigation will lead to." So I don't know what you make of Dalton Wint and Mr. Rudolph Speed there, Mikey. For me,
Well,
I'm leaning more towards Dalton Wint because I feel like he took the more professional approach
yeah.
in comparison to Rudolph Speed. I kind of feel like Rudolph Speed spoke with emotions, like he had it. Like I said, from that interview, I kind of feel like he had his mind made up, and in his mind, the girls are guilty as charged.
Yeah, I guess maybe because Speed is closer to the team because he's and maybe closer to Blaine and some of the coaching staff. They may have given him information, and he take it as that because someone give you information that is true. It's like the first person that come to you and say X. You only hear one side of the story. You run with it. You can't do that. I think that's what maybe Mr. Speed is doing. I think that's what maybe he's doing, and that's the mistake he made because him kind of double talk in the interview when him say him know, and then him heard. So is either you know, or you saw it firsthand because you know. To know something, you have to see it firsthand. To hear something is hearsay, and depends on who's telling you the story. It could be false. So I think Mr. Wint took the better, kind of more diplomatic. That's why he's the general secretary.
There you go. There you go. I was quite pleased with what Dalton Wint said.
Right.
What Dalton Wint came out and commented on. I thought, okay, fair play to you. That's the more professional. Go
but
on.
but I was give Mr. Speed a little credit because he's not afraid to come and speak his mind.
He isn't afraid. You're absolutely right about that.
And sometimes I'm not trying to defend him, but sometimes people who are straightforward and like talk their mind, get them put them foot in their mouth sometimes. And believe me, I do it too. So
you know what? You're absolutely right. He is usually the one that step forwards and
exactly.
speak to the media, speak to content creators. Fair play to him. But
Right.
on this occasion, I was disappointed with him.
Yes.
That's very disappointed. Because
Right.
if you're going to critique someone on their indiscipline and you're going to shine a spotlight on the girls being unprofessional, those comments that you made are unprofessional. Those are unprofessional comments because, like I said, you don't step forward in such a sensitive situation where there's rumors flying left, right, and center and come out and said that you have heard of unprofessionalism. And there was an emphasis on unprofessionalism of senior player or players. And then you went on to saying that you knew of indiscipline. So which is it? Is it a hearsay or are you basing your opinion or generating your thoughts solely based off facts and strict evidence and nothing else?
Also the JFF shouldn't point at anybody and say that they're unprofessional because you know what they've said. Big finger never tell lie yet. So when you point at somebody, a big finger is pointed back at you. People don't understand what I'm saying. So JFF is very unprofessional, and they should not call anybody else unprofessional because things that they have done in the past and things they're going to do in the future is going to be terrible. Just like Prince is saying, And they should just try and, the best thing for the JFF, leave the Reggae Girls alone. They are a professional unit. Let the girls do what they do. Put the ball in the back of the net. They're a team, and just find the proper coach for the ladies. And let's move on. Put this behind us. The JFF is to stand back, according to a man I don't like. Stand back and stand down. I'm just quoting a gentleman in the United States that said something like that last year.
I feel like I shouldn't ask who the person.
No, you don't want. I don't want to call that person name on this program. No,
I
please
think
don't.
that's a conversation for off the record. So I'm gonna give my my credit there to Mr. Dalton Wint. Fair play to yourself. Fair play for being professional. Fair play for being objective. It's great to hear him speak to the media, and it's great to hear that on that occasion the Reggae Girls weren't being thrown under the bus. But again, I'm gonna say what I've already said. I'm disappointed with Rudolph Speed's comment there, where he's questioning or commenting on the indiscipline of the Reggae Girls, and he's talking about there will be an investigation, guys. JFF carry on, Mikey.
What I would like to say to Mr. Speed is that all this wasn't necessary if somebody in your organization did not leak this letter.
100%.
And that person who leaked this letter needs to be investigated. And that
100%.
That person needs to be thrown under the bus and thrown out of the JFF off of the top floor.
But Mikey, that is the reason why I'm saying that they are flat track bullies, because there's so many issues there that needs to be investigated. Why are you only picking on, in your eyes, to me, the way they're looking at the Reggae Girls is that they are the inferior of the three parties, of everything that is going on.
But they're the most professional of the three parties.
100%. 100%.
They have wrote multiple letters. We never hear about one until this one here. So therefore, the Reggae Girls acting professional, total professional, by keeping it in-house, keeping it in the club, keeping it in the JFF, and the JFF go expose it like a strainer. And like I said, if you have a secret, don't tell the JFF. Because they're going, before you finish that, TVG or CVM, going to have it. So.
You know what it seems like, Mikey? It feels a bit like the shifting of the blame. You talk about the girls. Mr. Speed talk about the girls being held accountable, but what about everybody else? What about the federation holding themselves accountable? This is why carry on.
And they should, because the person who's most responsible for this thing that's going on for the last 2-3 weeks is the person that gave the media that information.
100%. 100%.
That person must have some reason why he or she gave the media that reason. There's somebody to gain something from it.
But Mikey, that is why I'm saying that they are flat track bullies, because if anything, you should have been coming out since you're so keen to do investigation. That is one of the things that should be made public knowledge, because like I said to you before, I can bet my last pound that the Reggae Girls didn't leak that information to the media. So therefore, if they did not leak that information to the media, there is an argument there that their privacy, there is a breach of privacy and confidentiality.
Yes.
So why isn't that being investigated? And if it is being investigated, why isn't it public knowledge?
Exactly. And this happened about two weeks ago, going 3 weeks, right?
But that's not public knowledge. But the fact that you're coming out and you're saying that you're going to be investigating the Reggae Girls for indiscipline. Why is that the only thing that you're telling us that is of public knowledge? What about all the other things that's happened externally and internally that needs to be investigated?
And the gentleman that did interview, when he said that the girls were investigating, he should ask them, so is the person who leaked letter going to be the leaker? Did you guys find the leaker yet? Because you need to get that person to the JFF, because that person is selling information maybe to the media and making the money. Maybe that person gets a financial gain by selling information to the media and causing problems, And it is just so sad that we have people that in the JFF that will do this kind of stupidness to cause problems. You know what I mean? Vin Blaine could have just resigned and nobody know why I'm resigned. What the main reason was. Maybe come out 10 years from now after the World Cup qualifiers finish, whatever. After the girls get to the World Cup, whatever. And it would be so far behind that nobody would even care. But now you put the girls on the spot. 20 of them. It's lucky thing it was not 24 sign it. So therefore, you can't know which 20 because 4 didn't sign. You don't know which 4 didn't sign. So you can't go to say, oh, you signed the letter because that may be one that didn't sign.
But that's another thing that they're allowing so many sinister narratives to go out of control or to get out of control because
when they say like not Jody, I mean Bunny is the leader. Bunny is the captain. People have to understand when you captain a team or you're the leader on a team or any organization, you have to take the front. That's why you are the leader. The leaders go to the front and take
the thing is, Mikey, when they're saying that Bunny is the leader, what does that mean? Theoretically speaking, she is the leader because she's the captain, she's the skipper. But if you're saying that she's the leader in a sinister way, again, it's in black and white before us. The gaffer said it.
Yeah.
When I questioned the gaffer on the former gaffer now that is Mr. Vin Blaine, when I asked him about Bunny's professionalism in that last game on home soil, I asked him about Bunny's professionalism and the fact that she appears to be, the big sister. There was a moment in that game where she basically put her arm around Kiki, and I was referencing that loving nature shown by Bunny. Yeah. And I asked him about Bunny's professionalism, and he echoed that. He said that Bunny is a great professional. So how are you now allowing a narrative to be spun on your captain where people are being led to believe that she is pushing an agenda to get the coach out?
Well, you see, like I think I said this to you before, as the captain, even though you may not support what the girls are doing, the ladies are doing, but you are the captain. And if you want the team to respect you, you have to, first you went try to convince them not to write this letter. And why you shouldn't, but they insist, and is a democratic situation, you are the leader. So you went carry the letter to the JFF, you're going to sit down and you're going to make the point. And it looked like you're the one that I mean, if people go back to watch Rudolph Austin interview on I don't remember which channel it was on, where he said that in 2015 at the Gold Cup, he didn't care. He didn't even care if he got paid. He just wanted to play. But he had to take the front because he was a captain. And when he did that and went and complained to the powers that be, then the last time he played the Gold Cup in 2015, he has to represent Jamaica again because they cut him. Because they thought he was the leader of the insurrection to get more money or to get them pay, whatever it was. But he was just a captain. That's what captain do. So Bunny may not have agreed with what was going on, but she is the captain. And she has to take the lead. And that's it. So I don't know, Mr. Blaine, didn't realize that. But I'm sure he's a coach. He should realize that. Just like how he said when it comes to negotiations with the JFF, he took the lead for the girls to make sure they got what they wanted because he's the head coach. So he took the lead there. So that is also a part of being a leader.
Yeah, it's like I said, it kind of feels like a lot of the things that's been made to make its way to the media and made to manifest itself is doing so from a sinister standpoint, because you can't tell me that you believe that, not you per se, Mikey, but you can't tell me that Bunny is a person who is disruptive, because that doesn't fit her character. That doesn't fit what we know of Bunny. What we know of Bunny is that she's a leader. She leads by example. If anything, there is evidence there to show that, or to tell us that she's one of those players that keep the team together, right? Possibly even the mediator between the players and the coaching staff, and maybe even the Jamaica Football Federation.
Right. I think because she's taking the lead, I think they're maybe disappointed in her, but she has to do her job as the lead, as the captain of the team, and she has to take the front. I mean, if she didn't take the front and somebody else take the front, then she's not the captain of the team. She'll give the other lady the captaincy. that captaincy carry out weight on it too. You know what I mean? And what the GF is going to do? Tell me next year, say Ballin not good enough to play for Jamaica. What that's just to spite her. I mean, that's what they do with the gentlemen. Anybody step out against them, they cut them.
But that's the thing though, Mikey. That's another thing. Like, factually speaking, the girls themselves have not stepped out against them. Everything that they've done up until this point, they've done it internally.
Yeah, no, but you see,
Had someone not leaked the letter to the media, we would not have known about some of the stuff that's going on internally.
But to go back to 2015 Gold Cup with the men, I did not know there was a problem until Austin said it on this year on one of the I think it was on Manning's Man show that's what took place in 2015. That's when we went to the finals, I think, against Mexico. Right. And the guy stick out for the money and he stepped up and he didn't represent Jamaica again after that day. So therefore, what the JFF, that's their thing. Butler, Altaman Butler, he did it in 97 or 98, and Young, can't remember Young first name, Paul Young, I think his name. They never get to go to the World Cup because they spoke up and they caught them. And somebody else said, there's some other players who said it that happened in the early 2000s. So I want to know if the GFF carry feelings that
they obviously do. They obviously do. With everything that they've made to, like I said, manifest itself, all the information that's going out there that's saying that the girls are, pretty much in control of the situation. There's a reason why they're allowing those narratives to run its course, because it makes the girls look bad.
What I like the JFF to understand, you see the guys who played in the 70s and 80s, maybe early 90s, you know, you can't tell them anything and kind of bully them and them accept it, because those guys were playing because they love to play for their country. And they, you know, they didn't care. I mean, they wanted to get paid, but whatever they get paid, they took it. But what they must understand, that most of these players are going to be representing Jamaica, both male and female. They're mostly college grads. And they're not going to take the foolishness that people take 10, 15 years ago. So if you're going to carry feelings, Jamaica never going to reach a World Cup. If you're carry malice and keep up arms house, like how, well, I didn't want to say that. I was going to say like a female, not all females are like that, so that wouldn't be right. They have to drop them thing there, because if Bunny Shaw said, step up now, like how they're pointing a finger at Bunny, what they went to me say, after this World Cup campaign, Bunny not play for Jamaica again. So which father in Jamaica are better than Bunny? That would make no sense. You understand me? So they better watch what they're doing, and this is going to happen every time, because people, these players nowadays, they're all, majority of them going to be college grads. They're going to be professionals. They know what it's like to be in a professional situation. These girls, most of these girls that play on the females on the Reggae Girlz team are professionals. 1 and 2 of them is in college, and they know what it is like to be a professional. So when them send a letter in to the JFF, if they don't want to go to the media, they send it to the media. So guys, ladies and gentlemen at the JFF, stop leak people paper, man. Stop it. Because it always end up on the wrong side of everything. You understand? And you have to find out the person or persons that leaked that letter and kick them out of the JFF. But guess what? Them are your brethren. So, yeah, because them have secret for you too. And you don't want them leak your secrets, you have to keep them.
That's why I'm saying that I'm so disappointed with Rudolph Speed, with that comment there where he's coming out and saying that JFF to investigate indiscipline from the Reggae Girlz. Before you even get to the indisciplining of the Reggae Girlz, or letting it be known that there's going to be an investigation centered around the indiscipline of the Reggae Girlz, surely you also have to look at the letter leak, because like I said, there was a breach of privacy and confidentiality. So there's a long list of stuff there that needs to be investigated. Whether or not they're investigating those stuff behind the scenes, only they know, because they've not made certain things public knowledge. Only they know why they're not making stuff public knowledge.
So wait a second now. So why Mr. Speed is making it known that they're going to investigate the girls, and they're not investigate and them not making public knowledge. They're doing internal investigations, find out who is the leak. You see, therefore them trying to throw the girls under the bus again. They're trying to turn this thing on the ladies when the ladies have no blame because all they did was write a letter, sign it, and give it to the JFF, and somebody in the JFF copy it and send it to the media or whatever they did. So the JFF have to get themselves start to get professional people in them organization. Or else every year it's going to be the same thing over and over. Look at this again. 2 months before the World Cup, we're having problems.
But Mikey, can you not see that it's all strategic? Can you not see that it's all strategic? They don't have the guts to make ruthless decision, because if it all goes wrong, it's gonna be their fault. That's the reason why they have basically just put the decision making in the hands, in the laps of Vin Blaine. So Vin Blaine gets to take part blame if the girls don't qualify. If
Listen,
in turn that they now have to go and find a replacement for Vin Blaine. So if when Vin Blaine is replaced, and if the Reggae Girls don't qualify for a second successive World Cup, they then turn around and say it was the problematic, indisciplined, unprofessional Reggae Girls. That is the reason why they're doing certain things, because they don't have the courage, they don't have the heart to make ruthless decisions. Because if it all hits the fan and it all goes wrong, they don't want to hold themselves accountable.
yeah, I mean they even look silly. They back. They should ask Vin Blaine what he was doing, what he was going to do before they make a statement that they back him. But I think that maybe they knew that Vin Blaine was going to resign, but them say, you know what, we now make girls look at them win. So we going to keep Vin Blaine and then make him resign. So it's not we fire him, is him resign, and therefore we take our hands off. Now in picking the next coach, who they're going to pick? You know what I mean? Is it, are they going to pick a coach that is a former national player, whether male or female, which I think they should. That's my opinion. Who have the qualification. There's quite a number of coaches that play for the Reggae Boys that are qualified coaches, and get one of them in, and they have to come in next week. You know, but a lot of the guys who are coaches and have the paperwork have a bad rep with the JFF don't get along. So I don't know that way work.
I'm not really sure at this point who the JFF gets along. It sounds as if you have a mind of your own and you want to do things your way, you don't stand a chance of getting along with the JFF. This is why they themselves are indisciplined. This is why they themselves are unprofessional, because they can't put away some of their petty ways and actually stick to the script, stick to the job. The
Right.
only ones in all of this from the three parties being the Reggae Girls, the coaching staff, or the then coaching staff, and JFF. The only one that's illustrating the ultimate professionalism is the Reggae Girls. But they are the ones that are they're the ones that are persistently being scapegoated because it fits the narrative.
And what is so wrong is that the girls are not going to come out and say anything. So therefore, and JFF know that, so they have the mic and they can run with it. But I'm sure after the World Cup campaign, that one of the ladies going to break ranks, who's willing not to play for Jamaica again, and come out and give an interview with someone, maybe more likely you, and the whole thing going to come out and it's going to be a whole different take on it.
To be honest with you, I would prefer if they just talk amongst themselves and just talk internally, because I know for a fact, me and you know for a fact, if they ever do an interview like that where they lift the lid, they will never ever play for Jamaica
No,
again. So
that's why I said a girl who's willing not to play for Jamaica again. Maybe one
I,
person.
I hope there isn't any girls in the camp that's thinking they don't mind not playing for Jamaica again, only for my own selfish reasons, because I'd love to keep this crop of players around for another World Cup cycle or so, and that's all dependent on the age of the player as well when I say that. So I definitely get where you're coming from, Mikey, because at this point it would be great to hear from the girls, but it would be a irresponsible move from them to speak to the media, because if they do that, you'll never ever play for Jamaica again.
And I hope that JFF don't pick a coach that they control, like one of them from one of them Premier League. teams in Jamaica, one of the Premier League coaches in Jamaica. That wouldn't be a good look. Because when you pick a Premier League coach, the JFF can tell them which squad to pick. Like, I think the same thing happened with maybe Whitmore. But I know that, so, and they're like, yes, people, the under 17 coach, these coaches are maybe all yes people. I don't know, maybe. So, the JFF can say, listen, you have to pick this player and this player and that player and that player. No, don't pick that player again. I don't care if that player scoring 1 million goals in whatever competition they're playing. Don't pick that player because it would have a problem with them from in the past.
Owen, it's not even a case of being. I'm tired of our federation and their mind games. I'm so sick and tired of their mind games and their distracting tactics. And when you get onto them and you put the heat on them and you place them under the microscope, they roll out the red carpet to try and keep us sweet and happy. I've warned you guys about the Jamaica Football Federation some months ago, and I told you guys that they have not changed. Some of you in the comment section told me that they've changed simply because they rolled out the red carpet and offered a few free tickets to one of the Reggae Girlz games, free tickets to former players. And I told you, do not be fooled by them. And here you go again. They have been made to show who they really are. They're showing their true colors. They haven't changed. So going forward, I don't want nobody in the comment section, with all due respect to your opinions, I don't want no one in the comment section telling me that the JFF have changed, because they've not changed. They're good at rolling out the red carpet now and again when the pressure gets a little bit too intense for them, but they have most certainly not changed. For me, all of this that's going on with the doing damage to the Reggae Girlz reputation, be it individually or as a collective, for me, it's a distraction tactics. What we should be talking about, we should be talking about June camp. We should be talking about the training camps, the training sessions for the June camp. Because before the former gaffer there, Mr. Vin Blaine, before he stepped aside, he said that he wanted a couple games in June, right? Because the World Cup qualifiers kickstart in July. So what they should be talking about, rather than coming out and giving interviews, rather than adding fuel to the fire, this is not a soap opera. Some of you who work for JFF, you're treating this like it's a soap opera, letting it be known that you're going to investigate the Reggae Girlz for indiscipline. Why don't you investigate the person who leaked the information to the media? I can go through a long list of things that need to be investigated before I even come to the alleged indiscipline of the Reggae Girlz. Why you don't look at the unprofessionalism that surrounds the Reggae Girlz and investigate that? Or does that not fit the narrative? Because you all can't be pitch perfect. Those of you who surround the Reggae Girlz, you can't all be professional. You can't all be great when it comes to discipline. You definitely lack discipline. You're definitely unprofessional. So why are you coming out and only telling us that you're going to be investigating, or there will be investigation done with regards to the indiscipline of the Reggae Girlz, but no investigation on something else?
But you know what? Look at this, Crystal. They investigate the thing about Vin Blaine being unprofessional and all this, all the points they might on the letter within 2 weeks, right? Within a week, right?
But no, Mikey, stick a pin in it. I'm glad you said that. No, they did not investigate it. They did not investigate it, Mikey, because you people in the comment section might not know, but Mikey's pretty much his own boss. He has his own trucking business. They did not investigate it, or they investigated it, Mikey, but they didn't do so fairly because they only investigated one half of the story. If you're going to be doing an investigation, you speak to both parties.
Right.
So you bring the Reggae Girlz in. Yes, they're based all over the globe. You do a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
You get on the phone and you call them up. You call them up on WhatsApp because it's cheaper for you. Call them up on WhatsApp or arrange a Zoom meeting and ask. Get their side of the story. So this is what I'm saying. When you're coming out and you're talking about the Reggae Girlz are indiscipline, you've made your mind up already. The evidence is there that you made your mind up because you did not conduct a thorough investigation that suited both parties. So clearly you're in favor of one party, and that one party was Vin Blaine and his coaching staff. What about the Reggae Girlz? What, they don't count?
No, because they didn't want to hear the negative comments from the ladies about the coaching staff, that there are the problems they had with the coaching staff. But what I was trying to say is that it took them a week and a half to clear Vin Blaine after the investigation, but it's been longer than that to find the leak. They can't find the leak. So I don't understand for them investigators. If they took so quickly to find the clear Vin Blaine that he was doing a good job and it's not his fault, then how come you can't find the name of the leaker?
But Mikey, that's an incomplete investigation.
I know.
Because let's remind everybody, you know, the Reggae Girlz raised points. The Reggae Girlz made not just on one occasion, not just on 2 occasions. They spoke to the JFF internally on 6 occasions. So don't tell me that the Reggae Girlz lack discipline. Don't tell me that the Reggae Girlz are unprofessional when they spoke to you on 6 occasions. That's almost double digits.
Okay.
That's almost double digits. So and then you overstep them, you overlook them by doing an investigation only for Vin Blaine and his coaching staff. So you don't care about the Reggae Girlz and their concern.
So what the JFF did was like say, it's like a man punch a man, the man go to the police and complain, right? And then after the police come to the man who punched him, I'll say, you punch my you. I said, no, I'm not punch him. Investigation done, clear him. That's what the JFF do.
Mikey, that is foolishness, and I agree with you, but that is absolute. Look. If I'm a Reggae Girl, I'll be livid.
Yes.
I'll be livid. You said that you're a barefaced liar. You come out and you talk about the Reggae Girlz being indisciplined and unprofessional. You are a barefaced liar because you cannot conclude an investigation with only one part of the story, one half of the story. What about the other half? Yeah. What about the Reggae Girlz?
Hold on, Crystal. Is that what I see on the TV is real? That super chat?
Yeah, I was gonna get to it. Thank you, but thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Read what
Thank you.
Yes.
Let me read your comment actually. You said, love your channel. I'm a big Reggae Girlz fan and just want them to do well. Is there a way we can financially support the team outside of Jamaica? Oh, I love your question. Yeah. You can DM me. And I could see if there's a way that we can financially support the Reggae Girlz. I did something similar at the last World Cup cycle. Maybe we can come together and financially support the girls at this cycle. Thank you so much for your super chat. I wasn't ignoring you, but unfortunately your federation has got me heated at the moment because, like I said, you're just coming in. These guys are old school, professional, flat track bullies. They only know how to jump on the weak fence. They will never square up to the likes of Mr. Vin Blaine and his coaching staff because they don't have the guts or the courage to do so. They're not going to square up to Mr. Della Marley because they know that Mr. Della Marley will square up to them face to face with no hesitation. And they know the backative that Mr. Della Marley have. So who do they pick on? They pick on the weak fence, the Reggae Girlz. The most harmless of the 3.
But the Reggae Girlz not weak. They're strong. They're united. Yeah, they're 20 strong or 20 or 30 strong, whatever the squad is. They're strong. And if all of these girls, not one come out and say anything, that should show you the strength of these ladies. You know,
ultimate professional. Yeah, ultimate professional.
Can't say the same for the gentlemen. Some of them, after they make comments on the electronic page and cause problems too. But the ladies, you don't see anything on any of them on any Instagram or anything that's mentioned that didn't say.
Thank you, Mikey. Thank you. Because this is the thing, This is the thing. You can tell us so much about a person based on how they carry themselves.
Yes.
Go through social media, guys. Take yourself over to Instagram. Look at every single Reggae Girl. Tell me which one of them look unprofessional and indisciplined. You say you can't judge a book by its cover, but with the Reggae Girls you can, because their consistency is sensational. Sensational. From the last World Cup campaign, it's the same mindset. They don't speak externally.
Right. And not only that, even after the game, they're all smart. You wouldn't know that I wouldn't know that there was anything wrong in that camp.
Mikey, they had me fooled. They had me fooled. I never knew that there was internal issues.
Listen. If me have a secret, me I tell the Reggae Girlz. Me not tell JFF. Yeah, I got to tell all 20, 30 of them. Any one of them. You name anyone. Hello, Reggae Girl. This how I go on in my life. Me know nobody now here. Me say, hello, JFF. This how I go on in my life. Before me hang up, it upon TV.
TVJ. How I shouldn't laugh. Guys, I'm
No, but
gonna
sometimes you take serious thing, make joking, because if you don't do that, your head will swell.
Mikey, I'm gonna bring on one of your favorite people, your brother there from the UK.
Across.
I think he's finished having his tea and biscuit with the man in charge at number 10 Downing Street. So he's made time for us,
Yeah, okay.
thankfully. Mr. Richard Stevens, how are you, sir?
Good night, Crystal. Good night, Mikey. Glad to see that you've got a roof over your head
Richard,
at
you
this
know,
juncture.
I was correcting you, and it's good morning for you and it's good night for me.
Indeed. GMT time, early hours of the morning, yes, sir. 1:20 something. My lord.
Me say
But-
you and can burn the night all in a bar, so no good. No one
Well,
to go up so much.
well, fun and joke aside as well,
Yeah.
this is part of the reason why the likes of Crystal and myself are so impassioned. Crystal particularly so, having followed the Reggae Girlz and the missteps, a little too consistent missteps of the JFF. So when you hear her calling them out and calling out issues, she's putting things under the microscope using her journalistic qualities and her fearlessness in stepping forward, as you full well know, Mikey. The Reggae Girlz, I really must say that it's been really unfortunate. You just alluded to it a few minutes ago in saying that the Reggae Girlz in one respect have shown tremendous strength and resolution in keeping silent amidst all the speculation, the allegations of they said this, they said that, they were threatening this. You know, you imagine us putting ourselves in their shoes. Could you imagine the pressure on us to say, you know what, I'm gonna boss out of this thing, you know, I'm gonna say something. But no, almost like a lamb to the slaughter. There's often one side, two side, and usually at least three sides to a story. And the Reggae Girl side needs to be told with respect and dignity. Crystal was at the Wembley FA Cup final and she got the opportunity to speak with Bunny. And I heard loud and clear, and if anyone didn't hear it, check it out on Instagram. Bunny, the captain of the Reggae Girlz.
The one who's apparently the troublemaker, according to some.
Right. Absolutely. And her name has been called.
Yep.
Called. Absolutely. And as the captain, you'd imagine that she would be the one who many are following in, we're not going to represent Jamaica unless certain things happen. But from her mouth, from the proverbial horse's mouth, she said she is proud to represent Jamaica, proud to don the shirt. I'm looking forward to representing in a heated World Cup qualification process. She's ready for the battle. And I think it's really important that we hit the like buttons, that we're sharing this particular stream, because too many things have been said. Me as an armchair fan has been sitting back, listening, digesting, and some of the things have not been palatable. But where have they come from? And you know what, Crystal? You know, when you said, and we've heard it said, Mike, I'm sure you recall, Crystal has said the Reggae Girlz keep things internal and private, and that's the best way to go. And you can see exactly why those words prove not only prophetic but extremely wise, because when you let certain things out, narrative upon narrative, speculation upon speculation, drama upon drama results. And when that genie is out of the bottle, we have this bag of trouble. But amidst all of the smoke, the likes of Crystal, the likes of yourself, Mikey, and hopefully those views and commenters who joining us today can take stock and check out the JFF things are just not quite adding up as far as I'm concerned. There are some things that are not adding up, and there are some things that raise their heads time after time. And Crystal has alluded to the proverbial smoke screen and distractions being put up by the JFF. And that's why I wanted to join the stream this evening, to listen carefully to factual arguments as to why we need to, one, support the Reggae Girlz, two, look for the very best that Jamaica has to offer, and they've got a forthcoming campaign. We need to put the message out there and provide the foundations for a positive, constructive way forward. And pushing the Reggae Girlz under the bus is not the way to go. There's been the narrative, let's be clear, because we're getting the balance there. I've heard this argument, Mikey, I don't know what your thoughts are, but you've heard the case, viewers and subscribers, you've heard the player power, the players going forward, not only with regards to the Reggae Girlz, but other footballers in club situation and international situations. They are almost choosing coaches. But this is not always the case. And in this particular instance, we don't want to get it twisted. So we need to fine tune, and get that spotlight on where it needs to be thrown. That light needs to be thrown not only on the Reggae Girlz, but the JFF, media, social platforms, the lot, because we don't want to be looking at one way and looking at another way. And that due diligence. You remember, Crystal, when you were talking about due diligence?
And Mr. Stevens, I have to ask you to stick a pin in it, because
I will do.
No, kindly so. I'm gonna ask you to continue as well. Again, when I first started the live stream, I said, before we even get to investigating the Reggae Girlz for apparently indiscipline, according to the latest interview there done by Rudolph Speed and Dalton Wind, the Reggae Girlz will be investigated for indiscipline. So like I said earlier on, before we get to investigating the Reggae Girlz, can we investigate the lack of due diligence that would have been done when it came to appointing former coaches to manage the Reggae Girlz? Can we do an investigation who gave the green light for certain coaches to manage the Reggae Girlz when there was clear red flags? There were clear red flags there for the world to see. Why did you overlook the red flags? Why did you brush aside the red flags? Who is supposed to carry out the due diligence? How often is the due diligence carried out? When you're working with young girls and and women, there has to be regular due diligence check. There has to be regular due diligence check, because you need to know, is this person fit to be managing the Reggae Girlz? Is this person fit to be around young girls and women? We need to be, if you're talking about investigation, that's something that you need to add to your list. For those of you who aren't familiar with DBS check, DBS is basically a check of your criminal record, which shows details of all the spent and unspent convictions, cautions, reprimands, and final warnings held on central police system. So was there any due diligence check done? Do you do due diligence check when you're recruiting coaches to manage the Reggae Girlz? So clearly you're not protecting them from the start. So if you're going to be petty and saying that you're going to investigate indiscipline, investigate something that truly matters.
Hey, Crystal and Richard, I'm going to jump off for a quick 5 minutes and I'll be back on shortly.
Okay, Mr. Ballin.
Okay.
Respect, Mikey. Respect.
Okay.
Good man. Crystal, I don't know if you've had time to check the various comments. I see there is one there from KS. Good night, KS. Good night, IT Push. Good night, Mr. Galaxy. And good night, Marcus Magasaya Garvey, amongst the many that have joined. Please, if you haven't, let's be courteous to Crystal and yourselves, myself, Ted, who is sitting patiently and quietly, because a big people talk to yourself, big people conversation. So with all due respect, and Ted's got a lot of respect, Ted is just holding tight. But, you know, we need to hit the like button. We need to hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much for that tremendous contribution a little earlier. And yes, indeed, I fully concur. Tallawah TV, quality broadcasting. But Crystal, I did mention there are often more than two sides, sometimes three sides to a story. With your critical journalistic eye, how does the land lay and lie in terms of the various stories and various sides so far? Is there an equal, equitable balance? Can we be clear as to the various sides that have come across, and what are the hard questions that we need to be asking at this juncture?
Before I get into that, Amokachi, I hope I pronounced your name right. Please send me a direct message on my Instagram. So my Instagram is Tallawah TV, or on my Twitter, so that we can look at how we can financially support the Reggae Girlz. I love your comment, and again, thank you there for your generosity. But yeah, I would love to see if we can come together to try and financially support the Reggae Girlz.
That's
Going
fantastic. That's
going
fantastic.
we needed a bit of positivity, so I'm glad that we have some sort of positivity from tonight or from
Absolutely.
today. To answer your question, Mr. Stevens, I think I might have to ask you to just rephrase the final sentence there.
No problem at all. I did see a message, and I mentioned earlier about, so oftentimes there are more than one or two, sometimes there's three sides to a story. So I just wanted
Yeah.
to ask if you could just lay the lay of the land, and as far as you see it, has it been balanced across the various
Okay.
aspects? Fill us in, by the way, and thank you, Case, for listening and chiming in on Tallawah TV tonight, because it's a big discussion, and the discussion will not end here tonight, but we need to ask the hard questions. Crystal.
No, I don't think that it's been fair and balanced. I don't think much of what's come from the I'm going to say the Jamaica Football Federation, because they're supposed to be the ultimate captain. They are the captain of all captain. They are the ones that should be controlling this mess, but they're not controlling it. So I am led to believe that you're allowing certain stuff to get out of control because it benefits whatever agenda you have set aside for the girls. And the agenda that you have set aside is basically they are boss up and in charge. They are bossy, because women are supposed to be bossy. The thing about us women is, when we step forward in any working environment, and let's remind ourselves that the Reggae Girlz, yes, it is a sport, but it is their 9 to 5. As women, when we step forward in a working environment and we voice our opinion, no matter how respectfully we voice our opinion, people are always looking at us as troublemakers. You're indisciplined. You lack professionalism. You're a problem. We don't want you here. Why? Because it's almost as if women aren't supposed to have a voice. It's almost as if we're supposed to be stifled out. The moment we try to express ourselves, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. It's almost as if because football is such a male-dominated industry, they kind of feel as if we're sizing up to them, which clearly means there's no level playing field there. Because if you are the JFF president and I am a Reggae Girl and I've come to you on 6 occasions, Mr. Stevens, and you have not done anything about that, clearly what you're telling me is that you don't value my voice. You do not value my voice. My concerns don't matter to you. The first time I came to you, you should have looked at what I said to you. Second time, you should have looked. Third time, you should have looked. You make it get to 6 times. That's almost double digits. So clearly, whatever was being echoed internally, clearly nobody wanted to hear from the Reggae Girlz, because they're looking at the Reggae Girlz and they're probably thinking you're bossy, because when you're a woman and you stand up for yourself, people say that you're bossy. But when you're a man and you stand up for yourself, people say that you're a leader. You see the double standards? Yes, he's a leader. He's firm and he's assertive. But let it be a woman who does that. No matter how respectful how you approach a situation, because you're a woman, you're deemed bossy. And that's the image that they're trying to portray of the Reggae Girlz, is that they are bossy and they want it their own way. But in reality, it's not that they are bossy. The reality of the situation is this is well out of your depth. You're out of your depth. You've never been in this position before. The JFF, you have never been in this position before where you're trying to successfully take a team to their second consecutive World Cup. You've not done it in modern times. You haven't done it, so you're probably behind the scenes panicking. You don't know what to do. What do? You play the blame game. You play the blame game to set yourself up where if it all goes if it all goes horribly wrong, you can say, well, it was the Reggae Girlz' fault. They're the ones who are indisciplined. They're the ones who wanted to call the shots. They're the ones who wanted the coach out. Vin Blaine said it in black and white in the interview that I did with him over a week ago. I asked the then gaffer of the Reggae Girlz senior national team, is there egos in the squad? He backed that one out the park. He said no. The gaffer said there is no egos in the squad. The gaffer said that the girls are professional. So how does it go from there is no egos, they are professional, to they are now in discipline? Where did that come from? Where did that come from? Where do you who is whispering in your ears? Who is your external voices? Where do you get your stories from? We know the magnitude of what awaits us in July. We know the magnitude. Nobody wants to fail, but it seems like if we are going to fail, they want to say that we are failing. And the reason why we are failing is because of the Reggae Girlz. It's the team around the Reggae Girlz that's the problem. It's not the Reggae Girlz that's the problem.
Go
it's
ahead.
The team around the Reggae Girlz. So if we do not qualify for a second consecutive World Cup, it will be the team's fault, the team around the Reggae Girlz. So JFF, it is going to be your fault. It's not going to be the Reggae Girlz' fault. The Reggae Girlz aren't supposed to be going out there and arranging practice matches, arranging friendlies. You are supposed to be doing that. Vin Blaine said it. Vin Blaine said it in his last post-match conference that he wants there to be camps in June. We're almost approaching the end of May. We don't know what's going on. So straight away, the Reggae Girlz haven't been given the adequate tools for success. We know that preparation is a key to success. You have not given them the key, the preparation to taste sweet success. You've not done it. You've not given them the right tools for success. What you are doing is you're formulating a situation where you're setting them up for failure. Because it's easy to pick on the girls. It's easy to pick on the girls and the women. Try picking on Mr. Della Marley. If you want to pick on someone, go ahead and pick on Sadella Marley or pick on Vin Blaine on his coaching staff and see what happens. It's not going to end well. It is not going to end well. And this is why I try my best to be so objective with what's going on, but you're leaving me with no other option but to put you right under that microscope, because what you're doing is unprofessional. You're unprofessional with the way you're approaching things. And I'm so happy that Dalton Wynn spoke in that interview as well, because he gave me a glimmer of hope. He gave me a glimmer of hope. Dalton Wynn said that there is no concrete evidence there, so he doesn't know what to make of the situation. Beautiful. That is the right response. You don't come out and in big public interview and said, you hearsay. Where are you going with hearsay? Hearsay don't hold up in court. You show up in court with hearsay in your back pocket. The judge is showing you the exit door. Case closed. Nobody cares about hearsay. People cares about facts. And when you're dealing with athletes and their image, you have to be very gentle with how you put out information and how you allow information to run its course. Because had I not done that interview with Bunny where Bunny says that, yes, we're all looking forward to July. Had we not done that, you guys were allowing a narrative to be spun in the atmosphere where it was being said, where we were led to believe that some of the Reggae Girlz wouldn't be showing up for the July matches or World Cup matches. So by allowing that bit of information to circulate the air, what you're doing is you're basically saying that, yeah, look, guys, they are unprofessional, because some of them are saying that they're not going to show up. Where did they tell you that they're not going to show up? The gaffer himself, the former gaffer himself, said that some of the Reggae Girlz, from the girls who signed the letter, a few of them have called them up and said that, yes, I did sign the letter, but that doesn't mean that I want you gone. So when you're saying that the Reggae Girlz wanted the manager gone or the head coach gone, who are these Reggae Girlz that you're referring to? Because it's there in black and white where the gaffer said that some of these girls have called him up and have reiterated that, yes, I did sign it, but I don't necessarily want you gone. So when you say Reggae Girlz, you're saying Reggae Girlz meaning a collective, meaning the whole entire group. So again, barefaced liars. You're lying. And you're not communicating well, neither. You're poor communicators, because if you communicated with Vin Blaine would have told you the same thing that he told me in my interview. So who are we going to believe, guys? Are we going to believe Vin Blaine, who have said on record that the girls are professional? Or are we going to believe members of the Jamaica Football Federation who are questioning the discipline and the professionalism of the Reggae Girlz? Through hearsay, mind you, of all things. They want to potentially punish the Reggae Girlz because of hearsay. How ridiculous is that?
Strong words, strong words. And I tell you, based in so much ominous reality, Crystal, just looking at some of the comments as you were speaking, and the passion, the sincerity that you're speaking with, it's reaching across the social media. Make no mistake about that. I had a few hours earlier in the day composed a little poem. I don't know if you want me to read it now or towards the end of the broadcast. But
It
I feel
depends.
it's in
It
keeping.
depends. It depends on how you're feeling. Let me know how you're feeling. If you want to go ahead and read it, you can. If you want to read it at the end, you can.
Let's check with the commenters if they want to hear what's on my mind, on the poet boss's mind. Then just drop a comment
I'll
now. If you
allow the
want to
poet
wait
boss
till this
to read
summary,
this one. Again, Amokachi, please tell me if I'm pronouncing your name right. Again, thank you so much for your kindness and your generosity. I think you pretty much helped me to buy my equipment. I did say I want to bring um what's that called, to my platform. So I think you've pretty much carried me over that line. So you're an absolute blessing in disguise. So thank you. I
start.
will have a chat with the necessary people and see if it is possible where we can set up a funding system there for the Reggae Girlz. I don't know how I'm gonna get in touch with you though. I need to think of something. I'm not sure how I'm gonna get in touch with you. Um, I don't
Can you
know how am
can
I gonna.
can you
I
can you
can't tell you to drop your number there because it's your private number. So you were saying Richard.
I was gonna say, I wonder if you could exchange Instagram accounts and then take it
He
from there
doesn't
between the
use
two of you.
Instagram.
Oh,
Interviews are not interviews. Email. Do you mind dropping your email and
email or maybe
I'll
WhatsApp?
email
Yes,
you?
yes, yes.
Yeah, because I can't ask you to give me your number now because obviously everybody else would have your number. So if you could give me your email address, then we could take it from there. Maybe arrange a Zoom call. Maybe we could arrange a Zoom call and see what we could do for the girls. But again, you're showing more determination than the Football Federation, and I think this is the first time I've seen you on my platform. So that speaks volumes. So thank you. And yeah, if you're comfortable with dropping your email address, then please do go ahead and do so for me.
Where there's a will, there's a way. You know, Crystal, I'm
Mm-hmm.
reflecting as Captain Mikey is in the house, and we don't know how long he's gonna be there. I don't know how long I'm gonna be awake, but I'm gonna strike while the iron is proverbially hot. Mikey, I've got a little composition. Would you like to hear it, sir? I am more than happy at this juncture to furnish you with it, and you can give thoughts on and feedback as to whether you
I have a
approve of it or you want to fling it out the
I
window.
have a
Your
question.
choice.
If is it about me?
You can be the judge of that. I've not done a specially composed one about you, Mikey, but you know what? Give me enough time and you'll be simply
Okay.
surprised what
Yeah.
I'd come up with.
Richard,
Yes, sir.
jump, man, jump to it.
Dare to do the sums. Dare to do the sums. Not the most ingratiating. This was given to me at the last minute when I was reflecting on what should I title this. And Crystal, having a conversation with Crystal earlier today, got me thinking because she is a journalist and broadcaster who is not afraid to ask the questions. the hard questions. And she is one to tally up. Does 1 + 2 equal 3? Does 2 × 4 come to 10? Something's not right. And if something's not right, she's not going to sit back and let things slide. If I slip, Mikey, if you slip, she's not going to be afraid to call me out and leave you to it. And she's not going to leave you to it and call me out. She's going to call out who needs to be called out. Dare to do the sums. And it goes like this, Mikey. Viewers and subscribers, Crystal. Under the microscope, what will we find? JFF hides a lot, layered with pride, but not representing country, transparent and true, but a buzzsaw of ignorance or disregard blues. Fans are tired of the injustice, morals played fast and loose, fixated with their wallets, all reason squeezed of juice. The Reggae Girlz represent us. Jamaica, raise your voice. From 12th man, vloggers, sports fans, we need to make a choice. Speak truths, ask hard questions, answers we want to hear. No soft shoe shuffling claptrap. We're listening, so don't you dare. We're adding up the numbers, half truths and share lies. Count the tales of injustice. No more compromise. Are you that?
I love it.
Richard. But you know something? I tell Crystal today, so I put some mark up on your fence, you know.
He did actually say that, Richard.
And you jump off of your fence for true. Welcome, Richard. Welcome off the fence. Now you're on the ground. Eh?
We're the mean ones. Richard, as you guys can tell, is the sweeter one of all of us, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
he basically laced them up in the most elegant and classy way possible, unlike myself and Mr. Ballin.
Yes. Richard, I must say that you're finally ruffling the feathers. You understand? Because he's a jerk chicken with the feather on. No, take off the feather so we can eat. You can eat in your yard now. Welcome.
Mikey B. Mikey B. Maca. The Maca man, you tell me about Maca. Well, I'm glad you see it as complimentary and that I've got off the proverbial fence. Look, you know.
Your man says sweet.
What can I say?
Good, Richard.
It's from the heart, and I hope it went down went down well.
Well, it went down very well, Richard. That was well said. And you know, the West Indies have a song that says rally around the West Indies, them anthem. We need to rally around the Reggae Girlz. Give them all the hugs and loves that we can show them. And we appreciate them. And we want them to do, we know what they're going to do in Mexico. You understand? They must stamp on Mexico the first game. And it's then sailing all the way. Reggae Girlz, we all love you. We want the best for you. And we know that you're going to make us proud. All of you. Even the ones that can't play, even because you only have 23, even the ones that don't make the cut, we all know that we're all one country, out of many one people. But JFF, step to the plate, Step to the wicket. Start doing the right thing. Stop with this foolishness, call a point finger. Let's put this in the past. Stop talking about investigations. Just move on. We have 3 important games to play. Well, no, 5 important games to play in the next window. We need everybody on the same plane, the same ship. Run a
Same
boat.
page. Yeah,
The
man.
same page. We run a boat. Chicken back, some flour dumpling in a kerosene tin. Real boat that.
Oh, Mikey, you're making me hungry. Don't do that. And it's like 5 minutes. Listen, Mr. Stevens will tell you I would gladly go and order something right now. Believe me, I've done it before. Early hours of the morning.
Hold on, you can't get them a chicken back in England.
You're sure?
On a Jamaica get them back.
Well, when I was in Jamaica the last time, I know I put couple chicken in my suitcase and they're in my backyard and that's my alarm every morning.
Yeah. Take up some rooster.
Mercy plea. I think on easy.
Reggae girls, we love you and we know you're going to do well. We just want to make sure all of you fit and ready. No injury problems. Come what may.
Wow.
Come who. Any team come, we step on them. Cause we are a little country, but with Tallawah.
Mikey,
yes?
You said something, and I think it's only fair that I share something with you guys.
Yes.
And it's probably one of the reasons why I'm just like I said to Mr. Stevens earlier on that the last couple of maybe since the Vin Blaine interview, I've not really been having a good rest because there's just been a lot of stuff that's been going through my mind with regards to the Reggae Girlz and the treatment. And I would like for the Jamaica Football Federation to do one further with regards to their investigation. Fair play that you want to investigate the indiscipline within the squad. You guys are in charge, and you guys lead the way. But there's also other investigations there that you guys need to be tending to, and we've already touched on those investigations before we can even look at the Reggae Girlz alleged indiscipline. So the letter leak, that needs to be investigated. The DBS check, that's the most concerning one of them all. You need to be figuring out if DBS checks are being done when you are recruiting coaches to be around your young girls and young women. Because like I said, you might recruit someone and lo and behold, God forbid, they might be a child molester. They might be a murderer. You never know. So when you're talking about doing investigation, the DBS investigation should be at your highest priority. And if you have done those investigations already, it would be great if the findings from that investigation could be made public knowledge, because that's alarming. That's alarming. The fact that I'm sat here and I'm thinking that they could have been a coach. They could have been a coach that wasn't fit enough to be around the young girls and the women of the Jamaica senior women's national team. It's unsettling. It's unsettling and it hurts most of us to the core. Like I said, how do you know that somebody isn't a child molester? How do you know that somebody isn't a pedophile or a murderer? The only way you can know these things is if you do your DBS check, do your due diligence. So when you're coming out and talking about you're going to be doing investigations to see whether the Reggae Girlz are in discipline, that to me doesn't even matter at this point. What matters is the due diligence check. The DBS check are priorities. That is what you call priorities. Because if you're going to be accusing the Reggae Girlz of being unprofessional, the Reggae Girlz could take you to court and say that if there weren't DBS checks done, you in turn is unprofessional. The mothers of these Reggae Girlz could take you to court. If you guys did not do DBS checks, they could take you to court for that because there's no security to protect the Reggae Girlz. You can't look at a person and say this person's track record is clean. This person is not a pedophile. This person is not a child molester. This person isn't a murderer. That is the reason why you do your due diligence. Whilst you're doing your investigation, find out if due diligence check were carried out when you're recruiting these coaches to be around the reggae girls, be it men or women, because anything the men can do, the women can do as well. So the women shouldn't be getting obliged simply because they're women. They need to have their DBS check done as well. And your DBS check need to be carried out regularly. Regularly. Not once every decade. Regularly, you need to be doing these DBS checks. So it's very foolish of you guys to step forward and say that you're going to be investigating indiscipline. What is indiscipline when you're looking across the road and you're looking at the potential of a due diligence check not being chalked off on your list? Indiscipline should be the worst, the least of your worries. Indiscipline should be the least of your worries. Your biggest worry right now should be where their due diligence check done when you appoint these coaches to be around your young girls and your women. That is what you need to be worrying about. The next thing you should be worrying about as a priority is who is the leak? Who is the leak? Unless the person who is doing the investigation is the leak, and surprise, surprise, there will be no findings. A thief isn't going to hand himself into the police station. He has to be caught in the act. So there are so many different things there that you need to be investigating instead of investigating something so petty. Yes, in the grand scheme of things, there has to be discipline and professionalism, but there are greater issues that outweighs any alleged indiscipline. So that is what you guys need to be investigating instead of scapegoating the girls and trying to make the girls out to be bossy and in charge and uncoachable. You guys are uncoachable because it seems that you guys don't like telling. It seems like if you're not from a certain demographics, if you don't look like the way you guys look in terms of being male and look and dress and speak a certain way, if we don't fall in line with that particular demographics, you guys don't want to hear from no one. So if anyone is in discipline, you can accuse the girls of being in discipline. We as the 12th man, we can accuse you guys of being in discipline and lacking in professionalism. The history speaks for itself. And I'm not going to be one of those people who are afraid to say certain things because I can't be like that. That's never been me. And I'm never going to be a person who's afraid to speak how I feel. So if you don't like objectivity, I'll tell you again, stay off my platform. Because I'm not here to sing sweet music to you and tell you what you want to hear. I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear. Whether you choose to be offended by it, that's your problem, not mine, to be honest with you. Because I'm, as the 12th man, I'm offended by some of the things that you guys are doing. And when we get back Mikey Ballin, we're gonna talk about something again that needs to be investigated. If not, this is for me, alongside the DBS check, this is something that needs to be investigated with immediate effect. So when we get back Mikey, we'll talk about that. And then we're going to end off on the show, guys. Before I forget my manners, you guys there in the comments section, Mr. Senate there, Mr. Tennessee Lewis, Mr. Prince, Mr. Liverpool himself. You guys scraped it tonight, didn't you, Prince? Big up yourself, Prince. Brown Bear. See if I can go through my list. IP Push. Amokachi, big up yourself. KS, I think this is the first time I'm seeing you on my live stream. Mr. Galaxy, I know I had Hot Chili here somewhere as well. I'm not sure if Rochelle has stopped by, but Rochelle, if you've stopped by, big up yourself. Mr. Marcus Garvey, guys, the channel is so big that we have Marcus Garvey stopping by. That is how large we are. And I keep telling him when him stop by, I'm supposed to bring Bogle with him, and he's supposed to bring Nanny the Maroon. Please bring Nanny the Maroon, because I need Nanny the Maroon to be standing up and speaking on the behalf of the Reggae Girls. Because they might not be, JFF might not be afraid of the Reggae Girls, because the Reggae Girls are the weak fence, but I sure as hell know that they'll be afraid of Nanny the Maroon. So Mr. Marcus Garvey, when you go back home, please invite Nanny the Maroon. Next time you're coming out for fun, bring Nanny the Maroon with you. Okay?
But Crystal, you know where Marcus Garvey is right now, right?
Where?
Euro Circle with Nanny. Told him I sit down on the graveside. I chat here right now and I laugh after JFF. Euro Circle.
My lord, my lord. Can I hail up Duckland, Stennett, Money Up? I saw your comment. Full respect. Thank you for the feedback. And of course, Brown Bear. Full respect. Brown Bear to Brown Bear. From Brown Bear to Brown Bear. We salute. We salute. Do we salute? Absolutely. Full respect. Yes. Thank you for the feedback. And thanks to all the subscribers who are listening to the show this evening.
Richard.
Remember to hit the like
Richard.
and share this information. Captain Mikey.
I have a young lady want to meet Teddy.
What should I? Should I about?
What call her? Give me a second. My soon come.
This is breaking. Crystal, we've got an exclusive here. Wait a minute.
Like Teddy have a date.
What?
Lucky for Teddy. I didn't realize this was blind dating, but lucky for Teddy. Teddy dating in, what do you call this, long distance relationship with Teddy? I'm offended. What about me? After all the good things I say about Ted, this is what Ted's gonna do in front of me?
We can't jump the gun, you know. We can't.
I'm jumping the gun. I'm jumping the gun like certain members of the JFF. All right? If they can jump the gun, I too can jump the gun. No investigation needed.
I was wondering, this could be potentially a platonic situation. We don't know what the status is regarding this young lady who wants to meet Ted. So we can wait with bated breath to see exactly how the land lies. I'm also looking forward to actually the conversation that you're looking to bring up with us. Mikey's back with a guest.
Yeah, the young lady's name is Tanisha.
I don't like Tanisha.
Why?
You have to ask. You have to ask.
You know how long I've been here?
Yeah, hold on.
Tanisha, their little foreign self, gonna try and take my position.
Yeah, Yankee not strong, you know.
Oh God.
All right, Teddy.
Ted, will you get yourself into Teddy?
Come on, Teddy.
Will you get yourself into
Teddy there?
All right. Well, Teddy don't know what cracker strike is or no. What's going on? He's curious. Who is this young lady? Teddy, come on. Teddy, watch out.
Is it Teddy?
Oh, it's all right. It's all right.
What? Oh, my young boy. Oh, you want a real man. Oh, okay, all right then. She want a real man.
Oh, no. Come on for the camera, Mikey. I like that gal there, so. That's out of order. That's out of order. There's a way and means to talk to somebody. Lord have mercy, Teddy.
Serve him right, because I would never have done a thing like that to Teddy. So serve him right.
Me don't know what kind of woman that the one that say. Teddy. Hello, Mikey.
Yes.
Mikey.
Yes.
What kind of wild person that they say you really bring on and have them kind of harsh words for tell about she want man. What you going with?
No, I said to her, I have this British fellow that look very handsome, and she said for a long time she want a British man. But she said, look at my size to him. You know, him kind of on the smaller side. You understand me?
Check her out, Teddy. Check her. Who is it? So is it?
Eh?
Size not for matter. Size not for matter.
It's
the size of the heart. It's the size of the heart.
Yo. Him say, him strong. What? She said, all right, send him come.
Yes.
But wait. Is Teddy vaccinated? You know, Teddy can't go over the States unless he's vaccinated.
Fully vaxxed.
All right. If he isn't vaccinated, I'm letting the guys at Heathrow know.
Yeah.
Crystal have a problem, you know. Crystal really have a problem, you know. My lord. We have to reason this thing out, you know. It's pure love and respect. Isn't it pure love and respect for Crystal?
Yeah,
pure love and respect. Every time, Crystal. You don't know.
Tisha only even got his booster because she got her booster.
Well, and Teddy feel well boosted. If me can't show you on the screen, but I'm well boosted. Trust me. Teddy, you're too bright. Come on, Papa. Excuse me. I get bright. Excuse me. Yo, Teddy.
Well, it's a good thing. Hey,
Teddy, you're
Sorry,
bright.
guys.
You're bright.
Hey, your viewers and subscribers think we're some crazy people.
They must be
Oh,
thinking
God.
why they talking with stuffed animals. Sometimes we like to do some weird things on this show, guys. You see, Princess said it on
That-
start.
language, Crystal.
Crystal, that's why I love
language.
Crystal,
Sorry,
that's why.
Please.
people, not stuffed animals.
Yes,
People,
listen,
sorry, I apologize.
that is why
Accept.
people love your show. Because we do the things that unexpected things on your show.
My goodness gracious me.
So,
Thank you for the introduction. Teddy, really appreciate it.
Yeah,
They'll
man.
exchange details and we're glad. You know, there's always a second chance for
Oh,
everybody.
she tell me
you know.
that she said if she wanted to get him phone number so she can call him on WhatsApp.
No
Tell
problem.
us,
We can deal with that off here, you know. No,
Yes.
no problem at all. No problem at all. And I'm glad she come back again. Crystal, where I say?
Yes.
I'm done. I'm done. You were saying something there, Mr. Stevens.
Well, talking about second chances.
Yeah.
You've got the opportunity now to come in with the topic that you wanted Mikey, Ballin and ourselves to cover. I mean, at this juncture, I'm thinking as well, by the way, is there redemption for the JFF? When they're in their quiet corner, when they have the chance to reflect, after the FIFA official has departed, I believe there's a FIFA official coming to scrutinize the JFF. We don't know the manner of scrutiny that's going on. But do they have a heart for Jamaica? Do they have a heart for the Reggae Girlz? Do they have the capability? Do they have it in them to reflect on
Richard,
the litany of mistakes and to say, you know what can we do better for Jamaica and for the footballers that represent us, for the teams, the squads that represent us? What can we do to get the fans genuinely on side rather than giving them, as Crystal said, the red carpet treatment when the questions start to come in hard and fast and suddenly they start to placate, come onto a show or two, say two sweet things to put people on side, and then as soon as the cameras go off, in due time, they're back to their same old antics. Do they have the heart for Jamaica and to reflect in themselves? Are they doing the best for Jamaica? Mikey.
Richard, first of all, who said they're making mistakes?
Uh-oh.
Maybe this is what they want to do.
Mikey.
You don't no, hold on. Richard, you don't make the same mistake. You are a man. If you make a mistake, you're going to correct yourself and you're going to try not to make the same mistake again.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody continue making the same mistake over and yearly and daily, it's something that they want to do. It's not a mistake. So you more look at it like they're trying to sabotage the teams. Whether it's the under 17, the under 20, the girls, the gentlemen. I mean, both, it's under 17, both girls and boys, under 17, under 20, and the senior teams. Who said they're making a mistake? You think they're making a mistake. And that's what they want you to think. But I think different. I think they're doing it for a reason. Because some people are gaining from what you consider a mistake.
Well, Mikey, I think the poem alluded and pointed towards that particular type of interpretation. So though I'm said how they reflected on mistakes, quote unquote, maybe I'm being overly generous because the other side of the coin is definitely there. And that could be a case of vested interest. Now that word sabotage, whenever I hear it, it makes my heart sink. And I've asked this question on many a platform, and it's most unfortunate. The dynamics at play, it's been a rude awakening compared to, for example, the English FA. I follow Brazilian football to a fairly large degree, and the dynamics ultimately in those associations come down to what's best for the national game. When you appoint a manager, that's going to bring the best out of the players and that's going to produce winning results.
Yeah.
When you've got this Jamaican situation and the JFF and the litany of and the history of issues and drama, the bag of drama that's been coming up time after time. Prince, good night. Prince and Kevon, he knows a lot about these kind of things. Teddy star turn, yeah man. Teddy turn star, yeah man. Star turn and in turn star, for real. Big up Prince, yes indeed. But Mikey, this sabotage thing, when I hear this, it's made my heart sink. I remember going onto Coach's desk and linking with the fourth official, aka Rome. Full respect to Rome, fourth official. And my question was, I think Tallawah TV Crystal saw when I was making my early entry into the forums and platforms. What a guan. I've come here to find out what a guan regarding Jamaican football. The opportunities were there following the Euro 2020 debacle with the Sanchos and the Rashfords and the penalty misses and then the retribution and the racial slurs. I wanted to know how the land lies in other pastures. Jamaica being my homeland, wanted to know what a guan. And the bag of drama has just been almost tidal wave-like and so repetitive. Mikey, you've just pointed to it. So I'm under no illusions, and it's a sad indictment.
Yeah,
to be frank.
Richard, look at this.
Sabotage. Outrageous. What a guan. Come in, Mikey.
And the sad thing about it is that these same jokers, I shouldn't say these are, but because not everybody in the JFF is terrible. But a good amount of them are. And they're only thinking about how they can benefit from whatever smalls or whatever thing is going on. I mean, if you look at the Reggae Boys, the whole thing was a drama. The Reggae Girlz now they want to turn in a drama. To me, it looked like they don't want any team to reach the World Cup. That's what it looked like to me. Because 2 months away from the big qualifiers, you're going to have drama. Somebody or another leak paper. And they can't find the leaker yet. If they do find the leaker, they should put the leaker in the paper. Name him, loud him out, so everybody know who is the leaker. But like I tell you, if I was secret for you, Richard, and you were secret for me can't talk about you, Because if me talk about you, you're going to look at my secret. And I think some people in JFF have secret for some people, why some people can't say nothing. I am sure there are 1 and 2 or maybe more good people in the JFF who want to do well. But you have some rotten apples, or rotten mangoes, and our wormy mangoes. We need to get them wormy mangoes out of the box. And they must start call name. The JFF must start call name and point finger. And we can get rid of this mess we have up what we call JFF. And get some people who really care about Jamaica's football. Not when calling names, I have someone in mind. Not when calling the names. But if that person become there at JFF, a lot of, the money now go run. Let's put it that way. So that is it. No money now go run. As money now run, some people don't want that part. I mean, everything, if you look what people do in the JFF, you have to stay from the outside and look. And I live in North America. And I can just see from the outside, just looking and see how certain things happen and how certain things go on. And you know that it's all about people thinking about how they can help themselves.
It's in a boss for them pocket.
I help them friend.
Oh, I help them. Wow. Yeah. I hear you loud and clear, Mikey. I hear you loud and clear. And I think Crystal hears you and many of the viewers and subscribers out there. It's a sad indictment. It's a sad indictment. I wish, pray and I hope there is a way forward, because this constant quote unquote sabotage, I'm still getting it through my head that a federation could conceivably not want success for their... I'll have trouble actually even getting that sentence out, to be frank. Crystal, go ahead, Mikey, before Chris. I know Crystal's got a question for us to tackle at some point. Go ahead.
Yeah. You know what will be terrible if what happened to if the FIFA take over the JFF like they did in Trinidad. You know what I mean? Because they did it in Trinidad. They took over the Trinidad Football Federation for a while. I don't know if it going back to Trinidadians. It was
Was
so
that
corrupt.
successful?
Eh?
What was the upshot of that? Was that
I
a
don't. FIFA
successful
took it over.
intervention?
FIFA intervened and took it over for a while. I don't know if they still have it or they gave it back. I don't know. That I couldn't tell you.
I might do a little research into that. Crystal, I know you've been digesting. I'm sure you've been checking out some of the comments again. Good night, Hot Chili. Good night, Prince. I know Prince is a vocal supporter of the Reggae Girlz. He received quite a warm time on I believe that was Coach's desk with Manning's man and Stan Kroenke. A very interesting show, as this one is tonight. Crystal, over to you. What's on your mind, Crystal? I know there's so much to turn over at this time, and we can't do justice tonight, but we can certainly start to hit some of the points and nails as we have been doing this evening. Thanks very much for hosting and having us, Crystal. Proud of you.
You're most welcome, and thank you so much for joining me, Mr. Ballin and Mr. Stevens. Definitely can't do this without you guys. Definitely love the fact that we can bounce off each other and share opinions. Obviously, sometimes we don't agree with each other, but that's fine. That's all part of objectivity. We're not always going to agree with each other, but you can't. To have objectivity, there has to be different ways of thinking.
Crystal, you know something, me try make sure me agree with you all the time, because I know you malice me and I bring me up on your show.
You know, I have some JFF blood running through my veins, so I might just do that.
You malice me. You malice me.
You know, I got it in my DNA, so I might just go ahead and malice you and never bring you back on the show again. So who Mikey think he means about him? I disagree with me.
Listen, you better agree with her, and you know I should malice you.
You better not.
JFF team have to do it properly.
Lot of mercy. You know, it's an interesting one, Crystal. Before you pipe up, we're waiting with bated breath. We know that you are the queen of introductions. Oh yes, you are the queen of introductions. You made mention of the fact that sometimes we can agree to disagree, or we have differing opinions, and that's one of the beautiful things about the platforms such as Tallawah TV. You and your six-sided butter business. Me now butter six-sided, you know. You are the butter master. You are the butter master. Trust me. Hey, I love that comment yesterday. That last time we link up, you know. Six-sided.
I'm done with Mikey already now, but my bring Talisha to Keisha on my channel to get Ted. So we're done with you already.
Oh God, Mikey, will you stir up yourself?
2 weeks two weeks of suspension.
With a pending investigation.
Yeah.
I'm only investigating my part and not your part, because you don't matter.
Why you threw a stone, open up glass window.
Mercy, please, things hot tonight. Hit the like if you've not done it yet. Hit that like button, please, for Crystal's sake and for our sake. We don't want to go in our bad books, you know. We don't want to go in our bad books. But everything is blessed. Crystal, what you said, though, you said something which is respect. I'm pointing to the word respect. Underpinning all of our opinions is the key word respect. So despite and whatever Mikey has to say, whatever I have to say, we are saying it honestly and from our point of view. And you and us, we respect each other's right to hold those opinions and views. Once we do it with respect, without malice, and for a beneficial, constructive purpose, we can hold our corner and fight our corner. I saw Prince fight in his corner. I saw Manning's man Kroenke, Coach Minzy, Mr. Diplomat of the decade, holding his corner. And it's interesting. Here's my question. Before you ask that, the question that you've got and you're going to introduce, do you feel that there are JFF members who are cowed, frightened, disillusioned?
There's a banner there for you, Mr. Stevens.
Oh! I see the banner. There you go. Oh, Crystal, do you know how much pleasure I get just from listening and reasoning with your good self? You've got a very sharp mind,
Richard,
and I am
Richard.
drawn to this mind. I love that. I love that. She's answered the question. Just see below for details.
Richard,
Wonderful. Wow. I keep quiet. Yes, Mikey.
I see a spot in your bread. 2 slices of bread in your butter, you know. Stop. She's not going to run you for your show, you know, Richard. You can come back tomorrow.
Richard, Mikey has dug a hole deep for himself, so right now we don't want no bread butter, all right? Mikey coming like the JFF, you have to figure him out. You see how he keeps on pushing back on you? There's a reason.
Richard, join the club, man. Join the club on this side of the pond.
Wonderful repartee. My goodness me.
Join the club.
I've got a soldier friend. I'm gonna forward this show on to, you know. Andre, I salute. He'd love this kind of repartee, as Andre would do. Ooh, it's too funny. Crystal, what is your question for our good selves? And we are here with bated breath. Introduce.
So, Mr. Scott, I can't answer that question at the moment. No, Mr. Blaine touched on wanting to bring a few additional players into the squad. We're probably not likely to see that happen. Who knows? We might. This is the problem. What happens when you change head coaches or managers? Obviously, a new head coach might have a preferential style of play different to Mr. Blaine. He might prefer players different to Mr. Blaine. So we're probably going to see a little bit of a shake-up. Who knows? But you know what happens when we have a change of the guard with regards to the coaching position there. So we just have to wait and see, won't we? That is the reason why we need those those practice games there in June. At least 3 practice games. Instead of the distraction tactics, go ahead and get us some practice games, because that's important. Those practice games will be the difference maker to us qualifying for the World Cup. In discipline investigation, you are absolutely wasting your time. You're wasting your time with that investigation, because what are you going to do? You're going to tell the player that they can't be part of the most important window, when you could have disciplined them back in the prior window or the window before. So it just goes to show how reactionary you guys are. You're going to cut off your nose to spite your face in the most important window. You could have done disciplinary actions in February or April, if what you guys are accusing the girls of is true. But no, you're going to be stamping your authority in the most decisive window. You've lost me with that one. But just going back to saying, you know, what you guys, what we've all touched on, and again, with regards to investigation, since we're on the topic of investigation, one of the reasons why I perhaps just haven't really been the same. Recently, this was literally like directly after the Vin Blaine interview. I had a parent that contacted me, and the conversation was quite disheartening. And again, this is why I'm disappointed with the Jamaica Football Federation, that they've sat back and watched so many negative stories develop around the Reggae Girlz, and they've not interjected. And when persons have interjected, they've added fuel to the fire. So since they want to investigate the indiscipline within the camp, they also need to be phoning up those Reggae Girlz. Like I said, I had a conversation with one of the parents, and the parent was distressed. It appeared to me that they were in tears, judging by the sound of their voice. And they let it be known to me that their child, because of what's going on, because of the stories, the negative stories that's attached to the Reggae Girlz, that their child is now receiving online abuse, to the point where people are abusing their child and saying to their child that your child is going to die. So picture being a Reggae girl and someone is abusing you online, telling you that your future child is going to die. JFF, investigate that. That is more important than your allegation of indiscipline where the Reggae Girlz is concerned. You go ahead and investigate that. Because we need these girls to be physically fit and mentally fit. But if there is one Reggae girl in that squad who is saying, their parent is saying that their child is being abused online, that begs me to believe that leads me to believe that potentially we could be dealing with a wounded soldier, because that soldier might not be mentally fit. Because it's horrific to abuse someone to the point where you are telling them that their child is going to die. That is something that you need to investigate, Jamaica Football Federation. You don't need to be going around talking about you're investigating indiscipline. Investigate the person who is going around and abusing one of the Reggae Girlz and telling them that their child is going to die.
Crystal, let me tell the coward that send any Reggae girl, there are the cowards that any Reggae girls, anything about them future children or any threats they want to pass on to them, they are cowards. Because they do it on this electronic media where nobody know who they are. And believe me, the biggest cowards have the biggest mouth on these platforms. And I cannot believe that someone will go that far and send threats to anybody, whether it's a male player or a female. I am tough on players, especially male players, but I would never send a message or send anything on thing like that on social media to them. And the JFF, I mean, the leaker caused this. You have to go to the
Exactly.
root. The leaker caused this. And the leaker should be held responsible for every threat that goes to these girls, these ladies. I don't know how many of them getting threats. You say, well, you know of one. Now, whoever that Reggae girl is, listen, you got my love. I'm not around to give you any protection. But believe me, most of Jamaica want you to do well. And if they catch that person, or they find that person can do you no harm. Because that person is a coward. When them send those messages, they must send them face to. Just like if I going to tell you something, Crystal, I can tell you in front of your face. That's what real men do. If you're going to send a message on electronic media, and then you're a bully to bully some young lady or some lady, come on. Whether it's a male or a female, do it. Come on. Send your picture to. So you man up or woman up to your words. So everybody can know what kind of coward you are and how stupid you are. And dunce. You see, everybody have a vote. Every female on the team have a vote. And you don't even know if the girl that sent the message to, if she signed that paper, because nobody know who signed the paper. 4 of them didn't. That's how dunce you are. The person or persons who sending those messages. Reggae girl, I am very, very sorry to hear this, and it hurt me.
One incident too many. One
And
incident too
this is all the
many.
fault of the leaker, and the leaker should be held responsible. And the JFF should find the leaker and out him in the paper, or her, whoever it is.
You know,
Go ahead.
sorry there, Mr. Steven, and this is why I said I'm disappointed with Mr. Speed there, because he's come out almighty and strong, but with what he said, it's led me to believe that you're not communicating with the team. You might be communicating with the former gaffer, Vin Blaine, and his coaching staff, but you're not communicating with the team, or at least the parents of these girls. I have no connection with the Reggae Girlz or their parents. So why is it that they feel comfortable enough to reach out to me and say, hey, my child is receiving online abuse? You guys should know that. And if you did know that and you didn't make it public knowledge, shame on you.
Exactly, because I'm sure if in my small little business, and if I have somebody being bullied in my business by an ex-employee, I am going to call the person out immediately. Because you have to nip these things in the bud. The JFF must come out and make a statement.
That's good business. That's good practice.
Make a statement
ought
about
to be the way
they
to go
won't
about
tolerate anybody bullying these ladies or even a gentleman. Because it's only a sport. And it's just football. And the girls play this because they enjoy playing football and they want to play for their country. And you're going to put this person now that when she got to the stadium, she be looking over her back to see if somebody is going to charge at her. Maybe. Come on. How she going to play for the country properly? And you say support Jamaica football? You not support Jamaica football. Because if the ladies have to look over them back and worry about who's going to come from behind and hit them, because that's what you would do, you coward. That's what you would do. How are they going to play well for the country? How are they going to come to Jamaica and even practice at whatever field of practice at in Jamaica? Because then you're going to have what? They have to have police protection now? Come on. JFF, step up. Tell the people stop with them foolishness.
We don't want to put frighteners. We don't want to put frighteners or mockers. We want to get fully supportive. And Crystal, I'm glad and thank you for displaying sensitivity, as hopefully we are in listening and dealing with such a sensitive matter. Mikey, I agree with you fully. Yes, ideally, it would be good business, best practice, getting your priorities right when something like that is rocking around, has come to the forefront. It's interesting, as you've said, Crystal, that is it likely, is it possible that the likes of Mr. Speed were not aware of that? They've not actually got feedback and have that relationship, that respect, that trust with the girls to actually exchange and to hear how they're feeling and what's going on from their point of view. They seem to have they seem to have got this one wrong. Relationships, so important. Respect and trust, so important. And if they've got other priorities, I saw Prince mentioning that they're very short term. They don't have a long term strategy and approach to things. Well, this is relationships, and relationships are absolutely crucial in our everyday lives, in sport, in our business practices, and daily routines. Very important. So it's a poor show, bringing this to light. Yeah, it's a tough one. I saw Taja Scott has made a couple of really interesting comments. He was making mention of it's a friend thing oftentimes that Jamaicans move with, and that's not. There it is. Thank you so much, Crystal, for bringing that. Yeah, and that, yeah, can't really add much more to that. It's not good business. What we're talking about is best practice and good business. Is it too late? Is it too late to turn the corner? Are we on a runaway bandwagon? Can we not do anything? And I think Taja made another point, if I'm not mistaken. He said something. Yes, the next one below, Crystal, regarding the next time. Yes. What are your thoughts on? What are your thoughts on not only that, but the JFF? I've seen members. Mikey, could I crave your indulgence? Take your time. Some water, Crystal, maybe. Have you got some water at hand? Take your time. No problem. Mikey, what's your opinion and what's your thoughts thus far when you've seen the likes of Mr. Ricketts appear on platforms, Mr. Wint and Mr. Speed? Can you give us from your stance where you've been, what's your interpretation and understanding of when these gentlemen have come on platforms and had interviews? Have you been happy with the quality of the hard questions being asked, and what's your take on the questions and answers that were given?
Well, I have never seen Mr. Wint on a platform, so
okay.
I've seen him. I have seen Mr. Ricketts. He seemed like a genuine guy, and he seems like a laid back kind of person, someone that is not like the former president, Captain Horace Burrell. He's very laid back. So I think that sometimes I feel that he's not really running the show. It's other people's running the show. That is my opinion. When it comes to Mr. Speed, I like Mr. Speed because he comes on, he answers all questions. Now, I don't know if they are the truthful answers or not, but he doesn't shy away from questions, which is good. And sometimes because he's such an open person, a straightforward person, sometimes put him foot in his mouth. And I understand that with straightforward people. But on a whole, the persons always see. I think that I see. I would say the face of the JFF is Mr. Speed because he comes on all platforms basically. Right now, I don't know the man personally. I've never met him before. I've never met any of these three guys. So what I see from Mr. Speed is answer all the questions, whether they are right or wrong. I can't tell you because I'm not there to tell you. I don't live in Jamaica, so I can't tell you. But seems genuine, but that doesn't mean he's genuine. Seems genuine. He could be genuine. I don't know. What you think of Mr. Speed and these three gentlemen that you just mentioned?
Well, I found it interesting because when I've heard all three of them interviewed at various stages,
Mm-hmm.
and it's interesting that they answer questions. Sometimes they go around, they beat about the bush. Sometimes they answer the question. Mr. Speed has been the gentleman who's been on most often, and I just find it
Yes.
interesting that the reaction from the fans, the likes of Taja Scott, the likes of Prince, the likes of Stan and Cataract, JD, many people on the platform, the viewers and subscribers, they just don't seem to buy what these gentlemen, for example, the likes of Mr. Speed, are selling. So I find it very interesting that you have been honest and said, from your point of view, you've heard them interviewed, but you're not necessarily certain if they're telling a truth, a lie. Are they coloring things? Is it a bit of a gray area? Are they being diplomatic? Because if we are looking to call the JFF to account, to respect the fans, the 12th man, the 12th woman, the 12th person, if we're looking for them to respect the Reggae Girls and the Reggae Boys, to respect the process, to respect the diaspora, then how do we draw them out? How do we shine the spotlight and be able to tell if they're selling us the proverbial pop? If a bag of tails them tell us, or if it's the truth, how do we differentiate? Because going forward, if we're looking to call them out and saying we've had enough of the smoke screens, and if you're giving us a smoke screen, and if you're not putting priorities where they should be, we're going to call you out on it. And if you're not following and not changing course, then we're gonna be vocal about it, and we're not gonna just sit back and accept anything that you say. So I'm looking at the dynamics and the nature of the relationship between these gentlemen from the JFF and us as the fans, as the platformers, the vloggers, the YouTubers. How do we get this thing where truth is actually fundamental? Truth and respect is fundamental to the relationship.
I'll give the guys that live in Jamaica, the YouTubers that lives in Jamaica, who's been around these guys more than we have. Those guys would know if these guys are selling us pussy in a bag. That's what we say in Jamaica. So I can't stay here because I'm not around them. They see them more often at the games. They see them at club games. They see them and them have interaction with them. So they will know, and they know people who knows people that more likely what's going on in JFF, but they just can't come out and call names. We who's from I'm across the pond. You're across the further away, the different further bigger pond. So we can only see what we see on the YouTubers. So, I don't, so I would say that what I do is that I will listen to what you have to say. And then I try to remember what you said last week and the week before. And then when you come the next 2 weeks from now and tell me something else, I say, but you will not say it to me last week. So therefore, I know now you're a Ginat. You're a man who talk with forked tongue. Like if you watch Westerns, the Native Americans say, white man talk with forked tongue. So sometimes these JFF people talk with forked tongues. And you have to fork tongue and you have to be careful because they would tell us one thing on YouTube and then they go back there and say, just tell them a bag of beans, So what we're gonna do, the direct opposite of what I said yesterday on YouTube. We don't know. But the guys who are in Jamaica, they are closer to the action than we are. Crystal is even closer than us because she get to interview them sometimes. you know, and Crystal can maybe know them a little bit more personally than we do, you know. But I would take everything they say with a grain of salt. Try to pick good from bad, you know. Pick out the good things them say that you believe and throw out the ones you don't believe, and that's the only way you can go about it.
I see that strapline has come up again. Flat track bullies. Crystal, do you have any advice or insights, reflections on what the 12th man, the 12th person can do, and what their mindset, attitude towards the JFF could or should be? And from your point of view as a journalist, because we can't, think for other people, but you as a journalist and as a platformer, and maybe with an eye on the other platforms, but certainly from where your perspective, what would you look out for when trying to ensure that the wool is not being pulled over your eyes or our eyes? I like what Mikey said there about, and I would actually subscribe to that. For example, if there's been an interview and you hear what's been said, you bag it. I mean, these shows are recorded. They are in the history books. They're records. And then subsequently you hear something else, another interview, and the tunes changed a little bit, and then the actions don't reflect what's being said. Then you can pick up on something and say, well, hold on a minute. And then you can hold them to account and say, well, hold on, with all due respect, what you just said, remember back then, this is what you said, these were your words, and well, it's not come to pass. So any thoughts on that, Crystal? Because we're calling out the smoke screens and we're asking the hard questions. But as you said, you've already recognized that they'll come on and then suddenly the red carpet is laid with the interviews given and granted, only to then about turn. And it's just disappointing, and it's sad. Crystal, any thoughts on Mikey piping?
No, I just want to say, look at how Crystal started the show with Mr. Speed, saying that he heard, but then he knows of indiscipline. See, right there is a double talk, and Crystal brought it to our attention. So that's why you have to listen to these people, and you have to remember what they say, and you have to come back and say, but sir, you said this thing last week, or you said it back in February. I'm saying, what I said? And you play the tape and said, this is what you said. What is different now? Because when somebody is giving you a double talk, they're going to misstep every time. You just have to catch them, because they think you don't remember. And if you have to have the evidence there to play back. Find it. That's why when some people come on interviews on TVs, as you notice, the newscaster have every tape lined up for every answer and can give something, make a misstep, then just play the tape immediately. You know what I mean? This is how they catch people.
Yeah, I mean, just to latch on to what Mr. Ballin has said there, it's exactly that. Sometimes when you talk too much, and then you end up telling on yourself without even realizing it.
Yep.
Like I said, in that interview, you started off, Mr. Speed started off with that interview there. I say started off because that's what was played to us. So maybe the interview was longer. He said, we have heard of the unprofessionalism, and there was an emphasis on the unprofessionalism. Later on into the interview, he made clear that he said that he knew of indiscipline within the camp that couldn't have happened elsewhere. So when you're talking about stuff that you knew and stuff that you heard, you're contradicting yourself. And like I said, if you're questioning, if you're saying you've heard about the unprofessionalism, why are you focusing on the unprofessionalism? Why haven't you also said, I have also heard Vin Blaine echo applause for the Reggae Girlz professionalism? So that's what I'm saying. It seems like it's very one-sided. Fair enough. I'm not going to argue with you and say you didn't hear it. You said you heard about their unprofessionalism. But we've heard Vin Blaine echo praises of the Reggae Girlz professionalism. Both of them go hand in hand if you're all about objectivity. You could have said, I've heard that they are unprofessional, but equally so, I've also heard that they're professional. But you've only given us one narrative to work with, and it's a nasty narrative. It's a sinister narrative. So that's where you lost me there, Mr. Speed. And like I said, I'm disappointed with your comments. More pleasing to hear what Mr. Dalton Wind had to say on that occasion. So thankfully for you and JFF, he provided that level of objectivity that was needed. Because he basically said, paraphrasing to what Mr. Wind said, he's basically saying that there's no concrete evidence there, but an investigation will be carried out, and rightly so. And that's our business operate. Yes, you have allegations on the card, but there's no evidence, and because there's no concrete evidence, you therefore can't make a decision. The reason why I was annoyed with Mr. Speed's comments is, for me, it's almost as if it was set in bed. He made his mind up, guilty as charged, and this is going to be my next option. And the reason why I said that is, had he reached out to the girls or their parents, they would know. He would know certain things, but he's oblivious. You can't have somebody who's sitting in the 12th man who knows more than you on concerning matters.
The next time one of those people come on your show, or any show that you're on, Richard, because you're on most of the more shows than I am, you should ask them if they knew about this threat to the young ladies and why they didn't come and make an announcement for people to stop. Because we are one Jamaica. I should think the JFF want to get to the World Cup. That's what I should think. But some it look like I don't think they're interested in getting to the World Cup.
The thing is, any serious federation that is professional, because since the JFF are all about professionalism and discipline, any federation that carries themselves on professionalism and discipline, they would have put out a letter about that. So I'm led to believe that they aren't aware of the abuse. How are you not aware of the abuse? Clearly, there's no communication, there's no relationship there.
And maybe one of the reasons why they don't know, but if they don't know about this abuse, is because the young lady is afraid that it's going to leak. Her name is going to leak.
There you go. It could be that as well.
Yeah, because JFF they're not keeping a secret.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that in itself could be spun, and they could portray it to be sympathetic allegations, etc. So perhaps it's a good thing that they weren't aware.
No, but the young lady could copy it and send it to them and see it, because you can't. I mean, it's there. I mean,
she needs to.
Unless the person who did it took it down. I don't know.
I hope her parent has encouraged her to do that.
Yeah, copy it and 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 it and what people must understand. We the 12th man have to understand. We are fans. We all want the best for Jamaica, and we all want Jamaica to win every game, win all the World Cup. But we are not going to agree with everything that the girls do, and we're not going to agree with everything the JFF does. But we can't, because we don't agree with what they did, we can't send threats to them, because that's not the way adults operate. And I have to go here now, because in Jamaica, we look at most time we have problem, we solve it by violence. We can't talk without bringing threats or violence to people. And even here in New York, I see every Jamaican, you look at Jamaican and look aside, we want to fight you. You know what I mean? I don't know which part of Jamaica them come from, I swear some of them, I don't know. They come from Navy Island or Lime Key or something like that. They don't come from the mainland at all. Not when me I grew up.
Mikey said, not back in my day.
No, sir. No, Krista, I will tell you something. In my days, me and a man fight today. Me punch him punch me kick him in the belly, kick him in my belly. All kind of kick and punch and whatever. I said, tomorrow, the man said, him say, look at me, man, look on yourself. I say, yes, look on yourself. And we are pointing what each other do, and the fight finished. Nowadays, all next year, them have you want to fight you. That's how it was then. And then now, we were teenagers, we said, we're the party there, because we're going to look to a girl later. And we just fight yesterday. Yeah, I mean, that's how we were. Nowadays, everything is just, and social media is the next thing to it. That's why I don't like it sometimes, because you have these little cowards go on and say these things to people that they would look to your face and tell you to your face. You know, and this make all the cowards get strong. Social media. Let them the social get strong. Let them feel strong, like them is bully. And then if them get called out, all of a sudden they are the victims because now somebody called them out.
But go on, Mikey.
Because I'm sure somebody who I'm pretty sure that somebody might have seen that comment on that young lady's page and know who exactly sent it, because that person them correspond in the same whatever electronic media thing.
See, the thing is, the reason why it all falls back to the JFF is they've allowed this narrative to be portrayed as the Reggae Girlz are the ones who are in charge. The Reggae Girlz are trying to control their destiny. The Reggae Girlz want to select their own coach, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So because they have allowed negative rumor to spread like wildfire, people who aren't educated latch onto it. People who don't do their own research take their word for it and say, okay, let me go and abuse this person.
And and I bet you, I know one girl them can send no message up from Reggae Girl, no bully message. There's one girl on the team, I'm not call her name. You know who I'm talking. Richard, you know who I'm talking?
I've got a couple,
I think we all
in
know
mind.
who you're alluding to. They definitely can't send her no bad message.
Your man send who? I've got to check them, eh?
But no one should be. I know that one should be. Nobody.
As a matter of fact,
should
I
be.
would encourage that young lady to tell that other Reggae Girl say and point, and make sure just deal with the situation. You understand me? Yeah.
I mean, the band man better than the next person. Listen, with all due respect, time is far spent for me. It's been juicy conversation. For those who are still around, we salute all different times of the day or night where you are. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button if you haven't done so. Thank you again for sharing and reasoning. Taja, Mr. Galaxy, Prince, so many out there.
Richard, don't forget.
Oh. I've not forgotten. I'm trying to keep business hush. That's been identified. So I don't want to, we want to just level the vibes there. So, but yeah, give her my regards. My regards. Ted's cool. Level the vibes.
Maybe send your WhatsApp number later.
Everything blessed. Blessed. Really appreciate that. Crystal, thank you very much for allowing me to recite the poem.
You're most welcome. Thank you for the poem. I definitely appreciate it. You've given me so much to work on tonight, guys. Before I forget my manners, thank you guys in the comment section for sitting and riding with us for over 2 hours and 30 minutes. To my lovely co-hosts, Mr. Ballin and Mr. Stevens, thank you for standing by me with this one. It's unlike the usual content that we produce, but I think where we're standing, where the 12 man is concerned, enough is enough. Enough of the mind games, enough of the sinister motive, enough of the throwing people under the bus. If you take a look around you, it's not a lie. It's not me assuming. The only party that isn't speaking at the moment, that is showing a tremendous amount of professionalism, is the Reggae Girlz, because they're the only ones who are not speaking negatively about their situation. And I'm certain they must have plenty to say. You must have something to say when people are tarnishing your reputation. But they are their sister's keeper. And like I said to you, one of their finest attributes is that they keep things internal. They don't speak to the media. They never have, and I trust that they never will. So I hope that these internal issues can just be resolved as a matter of urgency. I also hope that the JFF can get on with their job instead of sidestepping. Get on with your job and put some friendlies in the diaries for next month. At least 3 friendlies in the diaries. You heard Bunny said preparation is key. If we are to qualify for a second successive World Cup, we need those practice fixtures.
Crystal, please don't put bread for those practice fixtures, because I want to see you next month. He's out. And Richard, you to don't hold your breath, because need to see you next month. If you hold your breath, you may not make it.
You know, I hear you, Mikey. You know, I heard what you just said. You know, and the penny's dropping. But you know what? What I was gonna say to Crystal was, I hope that these friendlies are already penciled in, if not
Yeah.
etched in ink. But my
Richard,
goodness me,
Richard,
you're doubting that, my lord, my
Richard,
lord.
you don't work for the JFF, you know, so it's all right. If you don't work for them, you know, say you don't hold your breath.
I can't say anything is fact, as we've been talking about fact and talking about respect. I don't know as a fact, but the where we're coming from, we're saying that we recognize, as the 12th man, the 12th person, we recognize that preparation is key. So seeing some friendlies arranged is something that we see as a definite plus, a must, and intrinsic, and something that the Reggae Girlz would appreciate and want as part of their preparation. So as far as we're concerned, that sounds good to us. And if it's good for them, then we are going with that. So as far as we're concerned, we can't be accused of saying, we can't be accused of being lackadaisical and thinking that, yeah, it's no problem. We'll just rock up and meet Haiti and Mexico and the United States. If we get one game beforehand, no problem. But, you know, we just kick around and then we'll meet up and then play the games. No, we cannot be accused of that. So as far as we are concerned, we are fully supportive of the importance of preparation. JFF, are you listening?
Yes.
Are you listening? Please listen, not just hear, but listen and understand. My goodness me, Crystal, you guys, you've got a lot of fortitude. You've got a lot of fortitude. Viewers and subscribers out there who've been associated with following and being fans of Jamaican football. I can well imagine your exasperation. What's the word? When you're exasperated, you really truly exasperated with what's going on. Yeah, fool to your boss. But we have to cool things out. We have to cool things out, and I don't have a problem with that. And again, Crystal, I salute you because you're not afraid to call things out. And in terms of, you know, the dynamics, if people are willing so quickly and so loosely to disregard certain people's feelings, and yet those things are out there, tangibly out there, and people aren't being defended when they need to be defended, best practice is not being followed, then we cannot just sit back or go soft shoe shuffling and sitting back and saying, okay, you know, and taking it easy. We've got to also put our foot to the metal and say, no, that's not good enough. Hold them and hold those who need to be held accountable. So Tallawah TV subscribers, Mikey Ballin, continue to hold those accountable who need to be held accountable, because one day things must get better. Don't keep your head above the water.
Richard, this is what I have to say. Final thought.
Yes, sir.
JFF, please stop giving us a 6 for a 9. And that's it.
Short and sweet. I like it.
Richard, you understand that one, right?
Fully.
Good. And I hope everybody understand that one.
Concise. Stop giving it a 6 for the 9. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
You guys there in the comment section, I think it would be appropriate of me to ask final comments there on Mr. Vin Blaine. I obviously read out the comments there from the Jamaica Football Federation. Just to reiterate, we had the former gaffer there, Mr. Vin Blaine, on the program, but I interviewed Mr. Vin Blaine some over a week ago now, and JFF broke the news earlier on today. It stated the Jamaica Football Federation would like to express sincere thanks and appreciation for the work that Coach Vin Blaine has done with the senior women's national team. Unfortunately, he has decided against taking the team to the next level. Mr. Ballin, any final words there where Mr. Blaine is concerned?
Yes, Mr. Blaine did the best what he did as good as he could with the situation the JFF put him in. And they knew exactly what was going to happen. and they set him up. And Mr. Vin Blaine is not to be blamed because the JFF didn't do what they were supposed to do. And he won 4 games, and he scored 24 goals. Didn't lose any. Don't tell me people say the competition. Okay, I'll give you that. But they still win 4 games. Mr. Vin Blaine, big up yourself. You did the best you could. And 20 girls sign a paper that they don't think you're the right person for the job. And I as a man and a man who put Jamaica forward, you first, you to resign. And I think that was the best thing and the right thing to do. And thank you for your service. And you'll be back, maybe at a different level, if that's up to you to decide. And Vin, them railroad you, the JFF. Okay.
Mr. Stevens, any final words there for Mr. Blaine?
I'd like to recite the poem once more, and this is a tribute to Mr. Vin Blaine. Why I say tribute? Because he has shown, by way of an example, what we have been preaching and alluding to tonight in the strongest of terms. That word is respect. Respect. He has shown respect in that he has decided to resign in the interests, the best interests of the team. He has no doubt listened to the 12th man, the 12th person. He's listened to his own conscience, and he's listened, no doubt, to the JFF and their various tales. Have they thrown him under the bus? Was it a setup? Does he respect the Reggae Girlz? I believe he does. Has he taken guidance and good counsel? Has he learnt a lesson? Has he been selfish? I say not. And for him and for you out there, this is Dare to Do the Sums. Under the microscope, what will we find? JFF hides a lot, layered with pride, but not representing country, transparent and true, but a buzzsaw of ignorance or disregarded blues. Fans are tired of injustice, morals played fast and loose, fixated with their pockets, all reasoned, squeezed of juice. The Reggae Girlz represent us. Jamaica, raise your voice. From 12th man, vloggers, sports fans, we need to make a choice. Speak truths, ask hard questions. Answers we want to hear. No soft shoe shuffling claptrap. We're listening, so don't you dare. We're adding up the numbers, half truths and share lies. Count the tales of injustice. No more compromise.
Thank you, Mr. Stevens. You guys again in the comment section. What time is it? It is bang on 3:08 in the morning here in London. So that's well past our bedtime. For those of us who are based in England. So it's unfortunate that we've had to bring this one to an end. Almost 3 hours sat here speaking with you all. Before I forget my manners, thank you so much again for blessing us with a moment of your time. To you guys on my comment section, the ultimate 12 man could not do this without you. And again to my co-pilots, Mr. Mikey Ballin and Mr. Richard Stevens, thank you for blessing me with a moment of your time. With regards to Mr. Vin Blaine, thank you for giving me a moment of your time, or I shall say, thank you for blessing me with a moment of your time. Didn't have to, but you did. You gave me that important interview there over a week ago, and like I said, you definitely didn't have to do that. So thank you, for giving me your time. Best of luck with your future endeavors, and that goes to yourself and your coaching staff. I hope that your next chapter is a fruitful one. Sad that this one has had to come to an end in the manner that it has, but hopefully your next chapter is a fruitful one. So again, thank you so much for giving me your time, and best of luck in the near future. Who knows, maybe our paths will cross each other at some point in the future. Hopefully, if it does, it will be on a positive note. And that is it, guys. Again, we've been speaking at length. If you're just trying to tune into the live stream, you might have to go back and listen to what we have said. They've said plenty. The banner pretty much reads for itself, doesn't it? The headline reads for itself. I'll allow you to do the reading on this occasion. And do feel free to go ahead and press replay and watch back this live stream. I'm pretty sure you'd learn a lot from what we had to say on tonight's show. With regards to the ill treatment, targeted treatment, as I like to call it, aimed at the Reggae Girlz. Please do take some time out to listen to what we've had to say, because everybody's talking. Everybody is speaking except the Reggae Girlz. So it's only right that us in the 12th man do the same. I don't know when I'm going to see you guys again. I'm planning for a busy weekend. You guys are not seeing me on, I don't think you guys are seeing me on Saturday. I'm not going to wipe it all out, but I have a busy day on Saturday, and I'm already feeling the pain, the burden of that all important Saturday for me, guys, where my day will start from 4 a.m. and it will come to an end at 5 o'clock. So from 4 a.m. to 5 p.m. So that just echoes the day that I've got in store on Saturday. It is officially Wednesday, so we are halfway through the week. Wednesday, if you're based in the UK like myself, halfway through the week. If I don't see you between now and Friday, hopefully I'll be back by then. I hope that you have a fabulous week. And if I don't see you between now and the weekend, I do hope that you have a wonderful weekend when it comes. Thank you again for blessing me with a moment of your time. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you are a long-standing Tallawah, you know what to do. Kindly hit that like button. Until next time, take care.
I'm John Barnes, and you're watching Tallawah TV with Crystal Davis.